And we are back. I'm Levi Sean. That guy right there is Mr. Pixel.
We are back.
That guy right there, get the feedback, is Adam. And we're back with another Build in Public Hackathon, episode 3. We just did our Lunar Dust trending. We talked all about Lunar Dust. We talked about the top 5 trending projects. So if you don't have that bot, what are you doing? Get that bot installed. I know the guys are back. They were at it. Working late last night, I think just at 3 hours worth of streaming, getting the game set up. Yeah, guys, what's going on? Let the people know. What are they looking at tonight? All that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited, of course. Back for another edition of the build here, so I'm excited to get into that. We're going to delve into a little more graphic stuff as well today. Get maybe just the kind of base cards done, at least one or two of them anyway, and have a look at that. Play around with some ideas there. I believe. And of course, if anybody missed out on the other episodes, the other one, it kind of, if you're looking down here on PumpFun, it's kind of split up into, I think, 5 different clips for some reason, but that's an automatic process that happened. PumpFun seemed exceptionally glitchy yesterday for some reason, but because when we did the trending show today, it uploaded right away, literally right after the show was pretty much up there. So I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they're having some technical difficulties yesterday. But yeah, you might have to scan through a couple of those if you do want to watch that episode. We dived into building out the actual overall. We're currently in the process of working with GPT to build out the master prompt that we're going to use for Replit. So we teased all that out yesterday, going through it. So if you do want to check that out, I would advise you to do that. And just see that process if you are looking at building something yourself. It's worth putting in that really heavy work at the start, so that when you do go to Replit, you have a really solid foundation to build off, and it causes less friction as you build in. Adam, what can we expect today? How are you doing? Adam, welcome back for the first time. Today.
Yeah, for the first time today, but this is going to be ongoing, so it's good. So I think today we're going to kind of finalize our conversation back and forth with ChatGPT and kind of iron out the last little few details to get our base game design document down. Once we have that, we'll go for the Replit prompt, and we'll get the game design document attached in there as well. And we'll try and get our first iteration, see what it looks like, and then we'll kind of get to work on the vibe coding and getting everything kind of rolling on that front.
Right, so we're going to do the GPT, finalize that prompt. Are you saying we'll feed it into Replit then at some point and kind of see an MVP today? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, that is the goal.
All right. And you see how quickly their turnaround's going to happen, and then we can start looking at some aesthetic stuff, building out the cards. I did have some ideas as well about how we're going to do that, but I can walk all you guys through that too once we get to that phase. So yeah, Adam, do we want to, I guess we'll just get right into it. You want to bring up ChatGPT, and we can start. We'll pick up from kind of where we left off yesterday. So like I said, if you are a new viewer, go and check out yesterday's episode. It's broken up into 5 different clips for some weird reason over there. But you can scan through those, start at the older ones first and work your way up. That's the order it's going to go. All right, Adam, so what we got here, where were we at from yesterday? Let's give them a quick recap on kind of what we have, where we're at right now, what we teased out, and then where we're going to go. There we go. Let's get a quick recap. That's the way to do it. Let's get AI to do it. All right.
Exactly. So we'll just ask for a quick recap, and give us a quick summary, and we can see exactly where we left off.
All right.
Hey.
You want me to read this out?
Go for it.
All righty. So we have the core show format, the current state, overall structure, 2 contestants, live stream format, StreamYard is what we'll be using. Yes, crypto-friendly positioning, best of 3 rounds, target runtime is 30 minutes. This is a strong pacing target. Beautiful. Okay, the round start mechanics. Of course, if anybody isn't aware, if you're just tuning in here for the first time, we are basing this off of the classic 1980s game show called Card Sharks. If you haven't seen it, we played a little clip on it yesterday where we kind of watched it, figured it out. We edited some of it out so we could keep within our runtime. But yeah, you can check that out. Or else you can just search it on YouTube, Card Sharks Game Show, and you'll see it as well. So the opening control determination, each round begins with 1 random card dealt face up to each player. Highest card answers the first survey question. cards fully visible to the audience. This replaces traditional trivia challenger. Survey question phase. Questions generated via AI flow. Player with control gives numeric guess. Opponent calls higher or lower. Correct player gains card control. Survey questions remain. Control gate, tension builder, audience participation opportunity. Cardboard structure. Player boards. Each
You're kind of
contestant.
muffled there, Jay. Not sure why.
I'm not sure why it does that. I mean, make any sense.
Oh,
How
there
about
you
now?
go. You're better now again. Yep.
I think it just happens there from time to time. Might be a StreamYard thing. Okay, cardboard structure, player boards. Each contestant has independent 10 card ladder, separate deck, and visible base card at all times. No shared progression. Base card swap rule. When player gains control by winning a survey question, may swap base card once before playing. Opponent bus, ice card turnover. So we added that little extra feature, having an ice card that can pop up and automatically swap control of the board without having to answer a question. Opponent bust, ice card turnover, no swap allowed. This keeps strategic fairness intact. So when they do, if that does happen, the next player does not get the opportunity to swap. Card play mechanics. Player with control calls higher or lower, reveals next card, continues until one of the following: wrong directional guess, freeze decision, ice card drawn, or ladder is completed. All right. The freeze mechanic itself. Can you scroll down a little bit there, Adam? All right. Thank you. Freeze stops player voluntarily, locks current ladder position. Opponent must regain control via next question. This is your main risk management lever. New special card, ice card, 53rd card in the deck. Deck includes standard 52 cards plus one ice card. When revealed, current player immediately freezes, control automatically passes, opponent receives base card swap option. Okay, so they do get the swap option when it flips over. And no survey question required. That is correct. This is your volatility injector. Next one, same rank card rule, new balancing rule. Can you scroll down a little bit there, Adam, please?
Yeah.
If revealed, card matches base card, player advances one step on the ladder and retains control. Revealed card becomes the new base card. This offsets ice card randomness. No penalties, no stall. Visibility rule. All visible base cards, ladder progression, card reveals, ice card events. Transparency is essential for trust. Winning a round. Primary win condition. First contestant to clear all 10 cards. Freeze protects position but doesn't win. Progression still required. Best of 3 match format. Match ends when one contestant wins 2 rounds. Typical pacing, 9 to 11 minutes per round. Fits a 30-minute live stream slot. Good narrative arc. And then we have the sudden death. So if it's tied at 1-1, entry. Each player draws a random card. Highest answers next survey question. Ensures neutral control assignment. Sudden death restrictions. Player winning final question chooses. Play themselves. No freezing allowed. Must run ladder fully. Or force opponent. Opponent cannot freeze. Opponent cannot swap base card. Push same card advancement still active. Ice card still active. Probability/strategy framework. Current understanding, of course. Strong base cards. Middle values 6 to 9 give flexibility. Extreme cards ace 2. Safer. Single step. Less adaptable over long run. But strategy context dependent. Game feel you've created important. This isn't classic card sharks anymore. You now have a hybrid survey prediction game, probability ladder, momentum disruption mechanic, and controlled randomness for live stream. That's actually a modern evolution. What's fully locked now? Okay, here we go. Best of 3 format, 10 card ladders, AI survey questions, opening random card draw, visible boards, ice card mechanic, same rank equals advancement, freeze mechanic retained, sudden death structure, swap rules clarified. You have a complete playable format. All right, there we go. So that's where we are at. Where did we leave off, my guys? There we are, Drakoshi. Thank you for jumping in. Mustafa is in the house as well. Thank you, brother. We got Josh in there. Great watching as the game comes to fruition. Oh, absolutely, dude. This is a really fun process. Once we kind of get all the kind of niggly bits and the concept all ironed out, it's great to start seeing it come together and add some aesthetic stuff and, test it out relatively quickly. Okay, so Adam, we're going to dive into the actual survey questions here now, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
See how we're going to get those dialed in, what kind of questions we want to go with. for that particular part. And of course, if you are just tuning in, we are moonordust.media. You can head on over to the website, check out everything we are doing. And this particular development show is part of the PumpFun Hackathon. This is the Mod Media live build. This is episode 3. Yesterday's episode, we did trash out most of the concept. I just read out exactly kind of where we are right now with it, and we're going to dial in the questions right now. And a little bit later, I'm going to jump into some graphic work, and I'll be using OpenArt for that, and we can kind of maybe get some base cards down. I'll be using OpenArt and Photoshop to kind of get that dialed in, and we can make those aesthetics and get ready for the build. It's going to be a bit of fun, and I'm sure as well, Adam. You know, if I had to guess, I'm sure Replit will probably end up creating its own little mini cards that will just look pretty basic, I guess, initially.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's it'll put those in, and then we can kind of start reskinning and stuff like that. So
Perfect.
we'll have to adjust it in to suit StreamYard, because that's kind of how we're going to be streaming it. We're going to have 3. So we got the host and then 2 contestants. So we got to factor that in, kind of restructure it once we get our initial.
The actual layout, you mean, like the
process.
composition of the scene kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of alteration work here within StreamYard too, because you can set up any different scenes that you want. You know, what you're looking at now obviously is a specific scene, and you can just swap around between this and this. If we got 4 people, this if we got 2 people, this is the one we use for the game show. And of course, the game show that we have previously created is called Moon or Dust. And if you're watching on PumpFun right now, if you go down there, you will see Coffee Coin was the most recent contestant on the show. Did very well. So you can see the level that we're going to build out this game. And this one, I don't expect to be nowhere near as intricate and detailed as Moon or Dust itself. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because when you've got 2 contestants going head to head, it's going to be a blast. So right now we are using ChatGPT to iron all of this out before we build out our master prompt for Replit and get to our very first little MVP, I guess, minimum viable product. So right now, Adam, we are going to dive into the question. So the prompt is, okay, let's dive into the survey questions. What are our options for ChatGPT, and possibly keep it crypto related? Maybe, maybe not. Let's trash it out. Once we have completed this, we will move to the UI layout to suit StreamYard for live streaming. And again, Adam, you know, with StreamYard, I can create like whatever layout we kind of want here. On that. So, you know, once we kind of have an idea, right, this is where our contestant's going to be, this is where our contestant's going to be, we can kind of decide that ourselves, and then, you know, we'll adjust StreamYard accordingly then to, you know, get that right composition right for when the actual show is live. And of course, there's different scenes then throughout the show. So let's say, for example, for Moon or Dust game show, you got the audience edition, you got where you're talking to the contestant, and then that requires different little scenes to do it. So obviously this is the game scene right here when the game is actually being played. And let me hide this here. And then you also have the, you know, let's say you're talking to the contestant, it pops up like this. And then this is would be Sean when he's just before the audience participation round, and then it slides over like this. And then it will pop up the question for the audience participation round. You pop back over, and then you drop back down to the game when that's over. So there's a couple of different setups that you can do, and that's what we'll be doing here in StreamYard. And I'll show you guys how to do that as well if you want. That is no problem at all. So right now, Adam, we got your prompt all ready.
Yeah, so it's okay. Let's dive into the survey questions. What are our options for ChatGPT live generation, and possibly keep it crypto related? Maybe, maybe not. Let's trash it out. Once we have completed this, we'll move to the UI layout to suit StreamYard for live streaming, just to keep in mind. We will then finalize our game design document and initial Replit prompt.
All right. What up, Tazzy? I see Tazzy's in the house as well. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Appreciate you. Got Mr. Bitzel in the house. He loves fruit. That's good.
Mr. Bitzel, nice. There you go.
And please, guys, spread the word. If you know anybody that's interested in this kind of work, like we always say, if you know, it's not the AI that will replace you. It is the people that know how to use it. So learning AI and upskilling AI is so important. And you'll see how easy this is and how quickly you can actually turn this around once you just do a little bit of upskilling. So hopefully people will take away a lot of information from what we're doing here over the coming days and weeks. And you know, you never know, we might see some other games popping up in our orbit too from people that have been following along and maybe building their own. All right, Adam, what we got?
Right. So here we go. Good.
All right.
This is actually the most critical components because survey questions drive pacing, fairness, perception, and audience engagement. If this part feels weak or repetitive, the entire show loses energy regardless of card mechanics, which is very true. This is very important. I'll break this down systematically. Live GPT question generation options, crypto versus non-crypto question strategy, question structure, types that work on live stream, technical implementation considerations, moderation, quality control, recommendations for your specific show, prep for later UI StreamYard integration. So we start off. Live ChatGPT question generation, core options. You basically have 3 workable architectures for this. Option A, fully live generation, real-time prompting, host triggers GPT during show. Example, generate a survey-style question with numerical answer suited for higher or lower guessing. Pros, infinite variety, feels dynamic, no pre-production overhead. Cons, risk of odd phrasing, potentially unbalanced distributions, requires latency management, 1 to 3 seconds typical. That's no problem. We've kind of used that for our 3 whales in our Moon and Dust game show already, so we've got that latency management down. You can kind of preload that kind of stuff, especially when you're using text-to-speech. But the thing here is we won't have to use that because Sean will be reading out the questions anyway, so we don't have to worry
Unless
about
we
that.
change it up, but yes.
Well, I think you want that human engagement in that.
Well, I mean, totally. Like, I mean, he'll definitely be conducting it, but you know, depending on the lore, you never know. Some guy could pop in and ask the question. Like, you never know, depending on what way we go with the lore. If we want to highlight the AI or whatever, but yeah, I mean, it can work either way for sure.
Yeah, feels modern but needs guardrails. Option B, pre-generated question bank, recommended hybrid. Before the show, generate 100 to 300 questions, store locally, pull randomly live, pros 0 latency, quality control, consistent tone. Cons requires prep, needs refresh periodically. This is usually the best broadcast compromise. Option C, assisted live generation, best overall hybrid. GPT generates batches before the stream. Host can request extra live if needed. This gives reliability, freshness, flexibility. This is what most modern live stream productions do. But the thing about it is there's like, you know, there's only going to be maybe, let's say 3 questions per round, 3, 4, let's say maximum. Let's say 5 maximum. If you go 3 rounds, that includes the sudden death, that's 15 questions in total. So it's not a huge issue. It's just we want to make sure that the quality of the questions are good. That's the most important thing, really. So even, you know, batching it beforehand works perfectly fine, I think. For the AI to batch it up, we can batch up. We could batch up 30, and then we could have Sean with the ability to just move to the next one if he's not digging the first one. Just kind of, you know, re-roll or whatever.
Re-roll the question, right.
Re-roll it. So I think.
So of course, people need to understand as well, in order for this game to function as, you know, intended, the question has to be, the answer has to be a number, has to be an amount of something, so that the person that comes after them goes higher or lower, right? So this is obviously, you know, something that we have to keep in mind. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. So should the questions be crypto related? This is actually strategic branding. You have 3 viable positioning paths. Approach 1, fully crypto focused. Yep. Examples, out of 100 crypto traders, how many check charts daily? How many NFT buyers admit to FOMO purchases? Benefits, brand alignment, audience relevance, sponsor potential. Risks, narrow appeal, requires updated context. Approach 2, mixed general and crypto, strong recommendation. I agree. 80% general human behavior, 20% crypto culture. Yeah, because, you know, you're going to run out of you know, if you're doing 100% crypto questions, you're going to run out of crypto survey questions probably relatively quickly, and you could end up with a lot of repetition. So I think a blend is the way to go. Plus, it does give that kind of, you know, human behavior kind of style, which is one of the big, talking points that adds in a bit of humor into stuff like that. So I think it's a good idea. So
Yeah, I agree. And what
80%
up
general.
to
Yep.
Captain AI? Maybe I'm not sure. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome, sir. Go ahead, Adam.
Welcome. So yeah, the approach to strongly recommended 80% general human behavior, 20% crypto culture. This prevents audience fatigue. Over niche field keeps broad accessibility. Approach 3, totally general questions. Classic car track style, dating, food, money habits, social behavior. This maximizes universal relatability but reduces crypto branding. My recommendation, primarily general questions with occasional crypto flavor. Keeps show inclusive while still thematic. I agree.
Yep.
Questions types that work best on live stream. Some survey question types perform much better visually. Behavioral frequency questions, best. Example, how many out of 100 people check their phone before getting out of bed? Why it's good. Relatable, predictable distribution.
I like it.
Opinion-based questions. Example, how many people think crypto will replace traditional banking? Good for discussion. C, risk finance questions on brand. Example, how many investors have panic sold an asset? Strong thematic tie in. And then D, pop culture, social trends, keeps energy light. Types to avoid,
So
highly factual questions. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say. So let's say, like, how does it pull this question? How does it get the answer? How does it get the data? Does it pull from
We,
some data survey that was already done, or
we'll find
what is that?
we'll find that out now. Where it's going to get survey data from. This is one of the
Mhm.
things I've been thinking about. Where is the AI going to pull this
Well,
data
there's
from?
massive survey websites too that we can pull from, so I'm sure we'll be able to find those and we
Yeah.
can scour those. Yeah, go continue.
Yeah, so types to avoid, highly factual questions, feels like trivia, not surveys, extremely niche crypto technical question, alienates casual viewers, politically sensitive topics, high moderation risk. Technical implementation options, GPT integration, since you're planning Replit plus live stream, basic setup, backend OpenAI API call, predefined prompts. Sorry, one sec.
All good. I'll continue reading. Okay, so it is OpenAI API call, predefined prompt template, and return structured JSON. There's an example output right there. Let's see what we got. We got some viewers out there just checking the chat. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And continue, Adam.
Yeah, so technical implementations, backend is an OpenAI API call, predefined prompt template, return structured JSON. There's our example output. This helps consistency UI formatting later. Okay. Prompt engineering matters. You'll want survey style phrasing, no definitive factual answers, balanced answer distribution, otherwise gameplay suffers. Yeah, so that's basically getting our AI prompt down for when we go and we get our batch. But that's going to remain the same, and we'll just see what kind of repetition we get over a few shows. Obviously, we'll test all that before we even do the first show, but let's say if we needed to whip up a batch of 50 questions before each show with a blend of 80 general and 20% crypto, we'll take a kind of a sample with our initial prompt, see what kind of repetition is in there. And then we'll see if we need to adjust that prompt. So each time, let's say before a game starts, we'll generate a batch of questions. So we could probably tie that to the game setup button. As soon as it does that, it puts together a batch of questions. And then our host, Sean, our producer dashboard will be able to pop up the questions or re-roll a question or like move to the next question in the batch if we're not kind of feeling it or if something was repetitive from before.
Gotcha. Okay, so moderation and quality control, especially live, you need safeguards. Content filters, no explicit content, no political extremity, no financial advice implications. GPT usually behaves well if instructed properly. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, my kid just keeps coming in there.
And I've got a lock for that door, bro.
I know, I can't find the key.
Bolt.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see where we are. Moderation, especially live, need safeguards. Yeah.
Yeah, I just read out the quality control there.
Okay, so then we've got audience interaction potential is the later phase. This becomes powerful. Future possibilities, live audience polls, feeding, future questions, chat-driven questions, suggestions, token-weighted voting. Good for launch. Keep it simple. Key recommendations specific to your show. If I were designing this professionally, survey question strategy, generation method, hybrid pre-gen plus live fallback, topic mix 70, general lifestyle, 20, financial social behavior, 10% crypto culture, tone, conversational, not academic, format, always numeric, survey guess, consistency is key. Okay, important for upcoming UI layout, StreamYard. Keep these in mind. You'll need space for a question text overlay, numeric guest display, higher lower indicator, possibly audience chat reactions. So question length should stay short to medium, not paragraph sized. Yes, exactly. You want it kind of, handy enough. It can't be
Yes.
too long winded.
Yes. And you
Um,
know what I think as well, you want to bring a bit of humor into it. I think adding a little bit of humor into the surveys
yes.
will go a long way too, just to keep things lighthearted and fun for the viewers as well, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the main things is, that's the good thing about kind of have the general life questions. Like I say, I've watched a couple of episodes where you say, like he comes on and he said, we asked 100 women, um, did you have a fight with your husband that day or something?
Hmm.
And that's
Right,
like,
right. Hmm.
you can have a bit of a laugh with it. Or we asked 100 women, are you pregnant? Like they're the kind of
Right.
questions, and it's just,
Right.
there's always a little bit of humor involved and stuff like that. Now, obviously, we'll modernize, stuff. We'll add in a little bit of crypto flavor, have a little
Hmm.
bit of crypto banter, a bit of crypto fun into it. Getting the crypto lingo in there, all that kind of stuff. So,
Hmm.
and that's the beautiful thing about this. When you're just calling the OpenAI API, you keep honing your prompt. Obviously, you'll put guardrails on there so that you're not getting repetition. Obviously, that's the main thing. Every time you batch, you don't want 10 questions with like similar stuff, and that could happen easily with the crypto ones.
Hmm.
So you get those guardrails on, and then you fine tune your prompting as you see how the questions are coming out, because obviously it is a huge part of the game, because
Hmm.
it's allowing Sean, the host, to interact with the two contestants, and the two contestants to kind of bounce off each other. That
Hmm.
this is what people love about game shows, and then the reactions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
having
I
the
got a
two,
good one. How out of 100 degens, how many aped into a shitcoin and got rugged? Is a
I would
good one.
say 100.
Yeah, yes, that's an easy one.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. Okay, so before moving to the UI, game design, and the replica prompt, you should ideally finalize question generation method, topic ratio, moderation rules, prompt template, latency tolerance. Those will directly affect technical design. So I like its mix, the recommendations. So what it's recommending that we do, generation method, hybrid, pre-generation plus a live fallback. Now, I mean, we could add the live fallback. It's not going to be a huge deal, because if we're generating a batch of 50 questions, there's no way we're going to get through 50 questions in one show.
Yes,
You know,
correct. Yep,
like
yep, yep. You're
even
better
if you
off to
kind of
batch
max
them,
it
have
out.
them ready, and then it doesn't need to go doing any more calls or anything during the actual
Exactly.
show itself.
Yes, yes. So if you've got a batch of 50, you're probably going to max out at 5 per round, if even. So that's
Hmm.
15. Just in case there is any issues, that leaves you with another, 35 questions to pick from if you do want to re-roll, or maybe you don't like one of them, maybe there's a better one, or
Hmm.
whatever pops up, you can just skip to the next before putting it up on the screen for Sean to read it out. So
Hmm.
having to have a live fallback, we'll see how it's playing out. If it becomes an issue, I don't think it will, but if it does, we can add in the live fallback later. But I think just pre-generating the survey questions. So let's go through it.
So just
Um,
just to put that into layman's terms for me that's watching, when he says live fallback, it basically means that in real time during the live show, it would fall back and generate new questions if needed. But basically, to counteract that, it will be we're just going to batch generate 50 questions before the show, which should be more than enough to be able to do it. So it doesn't require any extra compute power during the actual running of the game show itself, and doesn't have to do any extra API calls to go back to GPT and regenerate new questions because we needed them. So it's better off to kind of have all that preloaded, and then it's just tapping into a library or archive that it's already created for the questions, and then you can re-roll one if you prefer a different one or whatever. There's plenty there, and like we said, maximum we would be expecting would be 15 to be used in a game. So 50 is even overkill, but it's good. It's no harm to have it in there, and be overly ready for it. You know what I mean? So all right, of course, if anybody is joining us for the first time, this is Mod Media. You can go and check out our website. It's moonordust.media there. And this is for the PumpFun Live Build Hackathon, Building in Public, the new initiative that they've launched. And we're looking to crank this thing out. And of course, if you are unfamiliar with what we do, you can go down there into the previous streams and scroll until you see the coffee coin entry for the game show Moon or Dust itself. You'll see Sean's dashing handsome face there on the thumbnail, so you can go and check that out. And that is a game show that we have already produced, and we're about 26 episodes I think in. You can watch tons of other episodes on YouTube as well, but we recently in the last 3 episodes gave it a whole new facelift, so you're looking at the newer version of it down there with coffee coin. Yeah, so and I don't think this one is going to be as detailed as that was, because we had AI live whales on there that are literally reaching to GPT, creates the text, then it goes to 11 Labs using their API to generate the actual audible voice from there depending on which whale it is, and then it sends it back and it relays it in real time during the game show. So that's pretty intricate, but it's very doable. And again, I don't think we're going to have too much of that in this one. So it's a very different style, but I think also very simplistic. Would you agree with that, Adam? A little more simplistic, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, we're still going to have, like, the back end is still going to be, the producer panel and the whole setup is still going to be pretty intricate. But I think the game board and the game flow is going to be maybe a little bit more simplistic, but there's
still a bit of work in there.
There's still going to be a bit in it, yeah. There's still going to be a bit in it, but it's once you just take it step by step and get it all laid out here, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, again, guys, we are using ChatGPT right now, and we are trashing out the core foundation of the game, the concept, the rules, how it's all going to work, any extra features we wanted to add in. This is based off the 1980s game show called Card Sharks. You can go and check that out. We played it at the start of yesterday's episode when we kind of kicked this off. So we're just picking up this prompt again, and our ultimate goal here is to make that master prompt that we're going to put into Replit, which is a AI coding software for building applications and things like that. It's a beast of a software. Adam uses it all the time. It's what we use to create Rico's Revenge, which is going to be launching on Ape Church very soon. It's a slots game. And I can show you some of that at some point too, if you want to check that out. And of course, like I said, the Moon or Dust game show, you can watch it down below in the previous streams and check that out as well. But yeah, so that's our ultimate goal here at the moment. And you never know, by the end of today's stream, we might even have a little slight MVP product that we can kind of play around with and test. And once we kind of get to a certain level here, we're also going to ask you, the audience, whoever, to come up and like test it in here live with us, be a contestant. Actually, 2. We're going to need 2 contestants. Or maybe someone could take on Sean. Maybe we'll bring Sean back and he can take on someone. Or else I guess we should be getting him to host it. But yeah, we'll be bringing people on anyway live, basically, to test out the game as we're building it out. Like I said, when we were doing the Moon or Dust game show itself, we didn't actually build it live, but we did test it live with the community. It was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. And of course, if anybody does have any feedback on what we're building, we do want to engage with the audience here. We want to hear your ideas on any little features you think might be fun or cool, or any other additions to the game. We're going to kind of dive into the lore a little bit too later and do some graphic work. So any and all feedback is more than welcome. This is basically what you're seeing is basically our raw process. This is how we do it. And I know Adam's typing there, but a lot of the time when I personally do it, I'll just pull up the microphone and I'll just talk right at ChatGPT like I was talking to, anybody right now. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here. And we should have that prompt here once we continue just ironing this out and teasing it out and getting this getting to that final stage, and then we'll run it in Replit and you can get a look at Replit and how that works. It's exciting. Okay, so you are now, Adam, just letting it know exactly the way that we want these questions done based off of what it teed up for you, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, we got Singh in the house. Welcome, Singh. I got 4UAPET. I'm not sure what your name is. I think, but thank you. Thanks for tuning in. We got 7MDS.
Yep.
I know sometimes you can't see the names, but thanks, everybody. What's up? We're up, brother. We are up. We are looking to crank this out and knock the PumpFun Hackathon live build out of the park here. So I'm excited to keep building. All right. And thank you guys for tuning in as well. Yeah. All right. What we got?
So yeah, the end of the initial responses. Before moving to UI, game design and Replit prompt, you should ideally finalize these 5 items here. So I just copied these, pasted them in here. And then I went through. So question generation method. Let's do a batch of 50 questions on game creation. We can look into live fallback later if need be. Max questions required would be 5 to 6 per round. 50 should be more than enough, even if the producer decides to reroll. Then you have the topic ratio. I just said, I like your recommendation, 70-20-10. Moderation rules. Let's keep it family friendly. We can elaborate on the prompt and guardrails later. Let's get initial prompt down and we can alter it. Prompt template. Let's discuss this. How or where will ChatGPT find real surveys to use for the questions? So we get that question answered here, and how it plans. What are our options on this front? Is there places we can scrape to get this stuff? Because obviously we don't want the AI just making the stuff up.
Making up its own. Yeah, we need it to be somewhat legit.
So, and latency tolerance, not necessary as we're batching before game start, so we don't have to worry about latency. If we decide to do the live fallback, then we can talk about latency, but I think we don't need to worry about that for right now. So let's pop this in and see what we get back.
Alrighty. I'll act as the AI here, so for you.
All right.
Perfect. You're moving from concept into operational question pipeline design, which is exactly the right next step before UI and GDD. Hold on. I'll put us down here.
Oh, I think I picked that up.
There we go. I got us. We're all good.
All right.
Okay. The big misconception to clear up first. ChatGPT does not pull real-time survey data unless explicitly integrated with external sources. Yeah, we can figure that out. By default, it generates plausible survey-style distributions, not statistically validated polling. That's actually fine for a game show. Card Sharks historically used commissioned surveys, not live data. So let's design this correctly. Number 1. Where survey numbers come from, realistic options. You have 3 legitimate approaches. Option 1, synthetic survey modeling, recommended. GPT generates question, estimated numeric distribution 0 to 100, and designed to feel realistic. Example, out of 100 people, how many have checked crypto prices during work hours? Answer might be 63. This isn't from a real survey, it's modeled plausibility. Why this works? Fast, cheap, unlimited, audience doesn't expect statistical validity. This matches original Card Sharks methodology surprisingly well. Strongly recommended. Option 2, real survey data integration, possible but heavier. Sources could include Pew Research, YouGov, Statista, public data sets, your own polls, challenges, licensing issues, data formatting, topic limitations, production overhead, usually unnecessary for entertainment. And then we have option 3, future upgrade, audience source surveys, examples, Telegram polls, Twitter or X polls, Discord votes. This is actually extremely powerful for crypto audiences later, but not needed at launch. That's something we could look at. It'd be fun doing some Telegram polls in there. Slide 1 or 2 in the future. Number 2,
recommended 100 people to take part.
Yeah, if we get 100 people. I mean, we got over 800 in there. What are you doing? Why aren't you in here? All right. Number 2, recommended approach for your show. Phase 1, synthetic model survey questions via GPT. Phase 2, optional later audience poll integration. Keep build simple first. Agreed. Prompt template design, initial version. This is the important part. You want GPT producing consistent format, balanced numeric distribution, family friendly content, short broadcast ready phrasing, mix of topics 70 20 10. Here's a solid starter template. All right, initial survey question prompt template. Use something close to generate 50 survey style questions for a live game show similar to Card Sharks. Requirements. Each question must ask out of 100 people, how many would say or equivalent phrasing. Include a realistic numeric answer between 0 and 100 representing a plausible survey outcome. Questions must be family friendly and suitable for live stream broadcast. Keep questions concise and conversational. Topic ratio 70% general lifestyle, relatable behavior, 20% finance, risk taking, or social habits, 10% crypto culture or digital finance behavior, light, not technical. Avoid politics, explicit content, medical advice, or controversial subjects. Avoid highly factual trivia questions. Focus on opinion or behavior. Output format, question, answer. This produces clean, batchable content. All right, there we go. This is more your lane here, Adam. So what we got?
Yeah, so this is just basically you should normalize outputs. So that's basically how the JSON file that is going to be popped out by the GPT or sent to the GPT. So it's going to be easy for UI integration. That's normally how we do it. It just kind of receives it's all put into a JSON file, and that's how the GPT is fed, and that's how it spits it back out, and then it's converted onto the UI. So UI integration easier, yes. Producer dashboard is easier. Analytics later, possibly. So yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to go with then. This is how they originally done it. It was kind of fake, but based on. I don't know exactly what they base on. They didn't have AI back then, so I wonder exactly how they did it. But it says here that it was somewhat fictional. So,
Yeah.
I guess we kind of run with something like that for now. Look at the probability of what it would be based on, the current situation of, whatever the topic of the question is. And yeah. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to, we're just going to use that, and it's going to use probability, really. It's going to look at what the question is and work out probability. I think we read it out
cool.
there earlier.
Yes.
So yeah, and then that's our format, and then the reroll logic. I said reroll. Technically, it's not really reroll. If we've got a batch of 50, it's just going to be next question, skip the question, replace the question, because there's no regeneration needed mid-show. Pre-batching solves latency.
Beautiful.
And
right,
then
tone
we've got
guidelines. Subtle but important. Questions should feel conversational, slightly playful, not academic, not technical. Example, good. How many people have bought something online they didn't really need out of 100? Example, bad. What percentage of consumers engage in discretionary e-commerce behavior? Well, we don't want to say what percentage is going to be out of 100, right? It's the way it's going to be worded.
Yes.
Okay, so tone affects viewer retention. Number 7, crypto question guardrails, especially important. Crypto audience is sensitive to scams, financial advice, market predictions. Keep crypto questions cultural. Examples, how many crypto holders check charts daily? How many people first heard about crypto from social media? Avoid price predictions, investment advice, token-specific questions. Latency decision confirmed. Since batching, no API dependency during the show, stable production flow, and lower technical risk. Good choice. Number 9, before moving to UI layout, user interface, next phase, you now have batch generation plan, topic ratio locked, moderation direction, prompt template draft, output structure concept. That's enough to proceed. Recommended next steps. Before UI, generate a sample batch of 10 questions first. Why? Validate tone, validate numeric realism, validate category balance. Much easier to tweak prompt early. Whenever ready, say generate sample batch or move to StreamYard UI layouts or start GDD formalization. Well, we're going to start with a simple batch, I would assume, Adam, yeah?
Yeah, let's get a sample batch in there and see how that prompt is, and if we want to make any adjustments to it, because we will have that in the game design document as well. So we want to make sure that that's good in there. Then we can do small adjustments later when we start offloading multiple batches, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, and we recently did an update on the questions too for the audience participation round on Moon or Dust game show. Just tightened those up a little bit, made them a little more fun, a little more crypto centric, and not so like finance, DeFi, technicality, like that kind of stuff. Okay, here's a 10-question pilot batch using our agreed structure. Okay, sample survey question batch. Number 1, lifestyle. Out of 100 people, how many check their phone within 5 minutes of waking up? Answer 68. 2, lifestyle. Out of 100 people, how many have fallen asleep while watching a movie at home? Answer 57. 3, also lifestyle. Out of 100 people, how many prefer takeaway food over cooking on a busy weekday? Answer 61. Lifestyle, again, out of 100 people, they all seem to be lifestyle. Out of 100 people, how many have rewatched the same TV series more than once? Answer 52. Out of 100 people, how many sing along to music when driving alone? 64. Out of 100 people, how many admit to procrastinating important tasks occasionally? 73. And how many keep snacks beside them while watching TV? 59. Okay, so that's all the lifestyle examples. And we have finance risk behavior here. Out of 100 people, how many have made an impulse purchase they later regretted? 66. Out of 100 people, how many check their bank balance at least once per week? 71. And then we have an example of a crypto culture question here. Out of 100 people familiar with crypto, how many check market prices at least once a day? 62. Okay, so there's an example. How are we feeling about those?
Yeah, I think they're pretty decent to start. Yeah, I mean, you've got general lifestyle and stuff is good. They're always they're not
good
too
jump
bad.
off.
They're a little bit bland, but I think we can
tweak
work
those.
on them a bit more just
It's
to
not.
spice them up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not a bad start. Josh says, I'm still waiting for Rogue AI Agent. And Singh said, it won't take long once you give it enough self-decision making powers, that's for sure. Or allow it to change its own code to change the way it behaves. I'm clearly half asleep while typing in chat. LOL, just woke up. Good morning, Singh. Thanks for tuning in all the way over there in Australia. Appreciate you jumping in, brother. Hope you're learning something today. Eric thinks they're good questions. Yeah, they're not bad, I think, Eric. I think they're a good starting point anyway. Maybe we inject a little more
Yeah.
humor in there, I think. But yeah, I think they're pretty solid for a start.
Yeah, they're good for a start. We'll just go with that. We'll go with that prompt for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
All right.
So the next thing that we're going to move on to here, I would say, once we have that trashed out, is basically how we want the UI to look on the screen. So obviously, if we just think about it here for a minute, so how the game show is going to flow. You're going to have, let's say, Sean's going to come on. He's going to introduce the show, say a few words at the start, then introduce first contestant, second contestant. They'll both, once they have their little chat, then they'll both drop down, I suppose, to, right, you can put, so you could have like the host on, let's say, the left side of StreamYard, and then you could have the two contestants kind of top and bottom.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we would have, like, let's say we got three layers. So you'd have your your first run of 10 cards at the top for contestant 1. Contestant 2 would have a row somewhere around, like, let's say we divided it into thirds, for example, something like that, right? So you'd have the top row would be player 1, next row down would be player 2. You could have them on the right side of each of those ladders, and then you could have Sean
probably on the left, right? I think if you had them to the left, because they'll be going left to right. So if you've got PFP up, so player 1 PFP, or their circle for the camera was going to be up on the top left, let's say, a little bit down. Then you've got their row of cards there. The other contestant 2 is going to be underneath them. Their row of cards along there, and maybe have Sean over on the right, bottom right, or bottom or right middle, or something like that, maybe.
Yes.
So that would kind of start that off, and then we could have the survey question and kind of the information coming up around the bottom somewhere. I guess we'll see how that plays out, or where we have spacing, where the questions would pop up and the kind of, the answers would pop up, and like any kind of information throughout the game, whatever.
Right.
That's probably good enough.
Do we want to make like a mock-up layout for this on Photoshop or something, just to kind of box it in, or do you want to just run something and tweak it after?
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to get a mock-up layout down, I think.
Okay.
And we can actually attach that in here, then we can drop that image into GPT
Okay.
just to give an idea of what way we want it to look, because we'll have to put in there's obviously going to be animations of the cards flipping. So the that's going to be done on the producer side. So the producer would need to be selecting player one or player two. There'll have to be all the game flow logic will have to be put in there, which we'll
Hmm.
trash all that out when we're in Replit anyway.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, just there's going to be those animations and sound effects and all that kind of stuff. But I think it'd be good to get maybe move over to Photoshop now, maybe break it
Yeah.
up a little bit,
Yes.
and
Can
let's
do
get
that.
doing some designing and see what the layout maybe is going to look like.
Okay, let's do that. So what we'll do is I will bring up my screen here. I'll add this to the stage, everybody. This is Photoshop, which we are using right now. Of course, if you're just tuning in, this is the PumpFun Hackathon live build from us here at Mod Media. If you haven't, this is the first episode you're watching, go back, check out yesterday's episode. They're all down there. Yesterday's one's broken up into a lot of different clips. So for some reason it did that yesterday. So you might have to scroll through or crawl through a couple of those before you get it. And the very first episode, we kind of went over all the softwares and what you can expect in the coming days and weeks here as we build this out. Yeah, so right now we are going to use some Adobe Photoshop to check it out. So let me fill up our screen here a little better. There we go. All right, and I'll get this. This is a card template that I was getting ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a new file here. I don't think you can see that exactly, but once you pop that up, just due to the screen share. But once you pop that up, it gives you the option to select, let's say, film and video, and I can select that and we'll select HD TV. Okay, and there we go. This is our template for the initial, the screen layout, I guess you could say. So what we'll do is we'll just reuse and create some black boxes here in order to do that. So the initial idea here, I'm going to get my marquee tool up here on the top left. You can see that if you hover over that, I hate the way it doesn't pop up the options that you get. Any pop-up window does not appear on the live stream. But yeah, you can select that over here anyway, as you can see, and I'll click that marquee tool, and that will help us to create any squares that we want. And by holding the shift key, it'll create an exact square. It should do. Let me see. No, that's not doing it.
If you
There
want
it
to
is.
pop me down for a minute, Jay, just so I'm not taking up the screen there while you're going through this.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can just remove yourself down there. There we go. Okay. And I'll add myself over here as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. So we will create, but of course, Adam, I'm going to add you to the stage still. You're fine over on that side because obviously, I'm going to need your feedback here when we're doing this. And as you can see, it's created, it already comes with these borders kind of already baked in when you launch. This particular HD TV, it's called. It's like a template that's already built into Photoshop. So we can focus on this being our main screen here and allow these borders on the edges, depending on what way we're going to do it. So we were thinking, Adam, our first ladder would be somewhere like this, do we think?
Yeah, maybe down a touch.
Okay, down here, somewhere like that, maybe.
Yeah, yep.
And then we want to take a little bit off here for the actual contestant on the left side, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have 10 cards going across there. So I guess the first thing we can do
10
is
cards.
create.
One thing about the 10 cards, I think it's a bit much.
What are you thinking? 7?
I'm thinking maybe 7 or 8.
Okay.
7 or 8. I think 10 will be too much.
Okay, no worries.
So we'll adjust that in our GPT in our game design document. But I think I think 10 will be too much.
Okay. I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to change the color of it here just so everybody can see it. I'll just add a stroke. Let's give it a black stroke. Okay, there we go. So everybody can see. So this is an example of the ratio of a card, right? So if we are going to go for, what do we go for, Adam? So 7 cards, you think, to start, or 8?
I think over 7.
Okay. All right, let's go with 7 cards. Let me just drop down that stroke a little bit there. And of course, anybody that's watching not familiar with Photoshop, you can just go over to your layer over here on the right side. Adam is there behind it right now. You can see layer there, and I can just double click it. You won't see the pop-up window, but that's where I'm adding the stroke and all that. I'd have to share my entire screen to do that. You're back there now again, Adam. So yeah, so this is one card, and this is the correct ratio for these, and we're going to do 7. So let's duplicate that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so there we are. That's 7 cards across there, so we can get an idea of the size. And what I'll do is I'll put all those bad boys into a folder right there, so I can now just select that folder on the right, hit transform, Control T or Apple T, depending on what you're using, and there we go. So I can kind of scale these cards to whatever size we want and keep all the ratio there. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 7 there, and let's say we go there, right? So that's the 7. And then let's change our marquee tool to a circle here. And this will be, let's say, contestant number 1. You know, let's pull in something for that. Let me see what I got. Okay, let's pull in a picture of where are you, Adam? There you are. There you are. There's a black and white picture of Adam there. Look at that.
Oh, there
Awesome.
we go.
All right. So if I go and I get my smart key tool here, I'll just center that up. Control J will give me a new layer, so I can delete that original one. And there we go. There's Adam as contestant 1. All right. So that would be contestant 1 on the left. We want to keep him inside the constraints here. So maybe I'll go back to my cards. Let's just label that ladder 1. 1 cards. There we go. And I'll just tighten that up a little bit more too, so we're staying within the boundaries. Okay, that gives a little bit of breathing room. And I guess next, I suppose I'll pull myself in. There we go. So I can be contestant 2. There we go. Let me get a little thing right there. Control J, give me that circular fill, and then I will escape. There we go. And now I'll transform that in. We get it the exact same size as Adam is here. There it is. And then I'll bring it down just below him. And that's kind of around the center point. You can see that little thing coming up. So what we're going to do right now, that is me. So Mr. P. And this one is here is Adam. I guess I'll just call it contestant 1.
Yeah.
ESDA int contestant 1. And then we'll
Just a quick question for anybody watching the live stream. How is the live stream playing out for you? Is it laggy? Is it cutting out? Is everything working? Let us know in the chat.
Yes. And okay, so that's our initial cards right there. There's contestant 1 and contestant 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate these cards over here, and I'm going to take those bad boys and bring them down and make sure that they're all working okay. Okay, so that is the initial start game. So let's go with, let's call this face up. Face up, let's tidy that up a bit. We'll go with maybe BBass new. That's always a nice little tidy one. And we'll change that to black just to keep it on point. So these two will be face up cards to start. Okay. And then we'll pop this one here, and then we'll put all of these face down. Okay, there it is. Let me just tidy up that a little bit there. There we go. Okay, so these will all be face down. And this will be, let's say, for example, the starting phase of the game. Okay. And I'll title us over there to contestants so that the AI can read exactly and understand this graphic perfectly when we give it to it. So it'll understand the exact UI that we want, or the initial layout anyway, before we start kind of tweaking stuff. Okay. Okay, so then the next thing we have is the contestant. Now again, these layouts can change throughout the show too, right? Depending on what we're doing, but always good to keep as much information, because when any new viewer joins in, you want them to be able to understand where the game's at, the phase of the game, relatively quickly. So there is the initial kind of setup. So we got to kind of decide now, I guess, where does the make for a great template. Let's just watch in the chat here. Perfect. If you can push coin. Oh, okay. They got someone. Hey, I got a message for some game show thing. I'm Water Magister. Curious if this real or not. What's it about? Oh yeah, so yeah, we are building a game show, sir. Wow Gold, thanks for tuning in. If you want to see a previous game show that we have built, you can check out Moon or Dust down in the previous streams down there. Look for the one with the coffee coin on there, and you can see this is a game that we've built before. We've vibe coded it, we've tested it with our audience. A lot of fun. So if you want to check that out, go and check it out. All right, yeah, looks like we got some good stream connections there as well. So what we're working on right now, everybody, if you're just tuning in, this is going to be the UI layout roughly for right now. As you can see on the left here, let's give this a name, and this is going to be contestant 1, and then we will have contestant 2 right here. And then where do we want to put the host?
I'm thinking we keep the host. We don't want it center on the bottom, and we don't want it along the line of the contestants. So I guess the other option is you split the contestants and you put the host maybe in the right middle.
Okay. What's going
maybe
on
just take
here?
a look and
There
see.
we go.
See how
Okay.
that looks.
Okay, give me 1 second there. Now I'm just going to pull in our host image momentarily. Let me see, where is it? Item. Okay, I'm going to have to go to my character here 1 moment and let me grab this.
Yeah, Erico says on the right. Yeah, I think we definitely want to keep the host over on the right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
But down in the right corner might make it too irrelevant. Maybe if we, like I was saying, if we split them and put them in the right middle, and then we can have the questions popping up in between. Although I don't know. I'm not sure if that will work either, to be honest.
All right.
Let's take a look and see what it feels like.
Yeah, we'll flesh it out here now, and I'll just get here's our host with the most here. There's DeFi Sean, and we'll pop him somewhere. Delete that, and this is host. Now let me tidy up my layers over here on the right side. Just get all this text into one folder so it keeps it nice and tidy. Text right there. There's contestant 2. Contestant 2, where's contestant 1? There it is. Contestant 2, contestant 1, and the host. Okay, so also I feel like the host should definitely be bigger. So what was the initial thought? Okay, so he can be there, or you could also have him below these guys, you know, as the host potentially, you know, and any question could come up in like a, you know, a grid over here or something. Like if there was a question to be done, you could have a little box here that would run the question with the answer. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think that might be a good idea, and we can kind of, you know, maybe utilize the background with maybe the two top background. Let's say the top 2/3 of the background would be kind of, let's say, a contestant color, and maybe a slight gradient down into a slightly different color that runs across for the host, so it kind of distinguishes between the two.
Okay. Let's move that up above here just so we are. There we go. I'm going to make that white just so it's a little clearer.
Just a quick update for everyone. Dex Tools, Socials, Banner, everything, all that has been updated now, along with Dex Screener. So that's just got word there in the main chat. And if you're not in the Telegram, anyone that's watching, go and join the Telegram. That's obviously where we'll be updating times of all the live shows, everything like that. It's where you get all the up-to-date information about how the build is going and all the other shows that we're doing every single day.
Every day. Okay, and here is the host Okay, so I just want to make sure that the AI is going to recognize all of this. So you're thinking,
Yeah,
so we
Eric
put,
agrees. That works nicely with him a bit larger. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that is good.
All right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I do like that layout.
okay, maybe we can tidy this up a little bit, just tighten it up maybe. So let me see. Contestant 1 is there. Okay, so I'm gonna piece these together here. Contestant 1, contestant 2. So that just pops on and off. And let me see. Let's make sure. It's always good to try and keep your folders in good order, people, just in case when you're working on Photoshop, because shit can get out of hand real quick. So
Yeah.
just so you don't get lost, it's good to name everything as well as you can while you're building it out. And then this is going to be our host folder right here. All right, so there's our host, contestant 1, contestant 2. And then these are our, that's all the text on there. And then these are our ladder cards there. So what I'll do is I'm going to pop all of these guys into the same folder. So this is contestants. T-E-S-T-A-N-T-S plus ladders. Ladders. Okay. So if we want to maybe just slightly make this a little bit smaller, maybe just move it up a little halfway so we can give Sean a little more room to do what he's got to do. I think somewhere around there might be a good halfway point. There we go. That's right center right there. Maybe down a little touch about there. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then we have Sean right here below the 2 contestants. Let's center him up there. So then we would have our question box maybe somewhere here, Adam. Is that what we're thinking? Along this right side? Just to the right of
Yeah,
Sean?
I think that's where we can have all our kind of, relevant information and questions popping up and stuff like that. That's
Okay.
we can use up that space for that.
So I'm going to make this a black box right there. And this will be, I'm going to hide these grids for now. Let me center this up here on Sean too, so that's lined up with the center of his circle right there. And so what do we want to kind of call this, Adam, for the AI? Question portal or question window, I guess.
It's going to be question and game data, probably, kind of the
Okay,
round we're on, or, could be,
question plus game data. Okay, question plus game data. Okay, that's that. And also, we can have certain things here, because obviously above each card here is going to be, or maybe on the face of the card, if you freeze, it'll be freeze,
yeah.
things like that. Okay, so I guess, do you think this is good here for our first initial kind of to send to the AI? Do we want to add anything else in here, or we just get this base down first and then we can tweak?
Um, yeah,
What else do you want to add?
I think that's pretty good for now.
Okay. Anybody else, has anything else you think we should add there? If you're in the chat watching, let us know. That works nicely with a bit larger. Yeah, thank you. This is as real as it gets. Whomever asked, these guys are building another live game, another Have Game Show live. Not as intricate as Moon or Dust, but still epic. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty intricate. Maybe not so much AI with 11 labs, but yeah, there's going to be a little bit of work. There's a couple of different portals: host, producer portal, and then the game show itself. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun one. So will I send this over to you, Adam? This image?
Yeah, send it over and we'll pop it in.
Okay, I'm just going to save this as I'll pop it into my folder here. This is going to be, and I'm going to call this game screen layout. Okay, I'm going to pop that in there, save it. I'll just save the Photoshop file. Now I'll save it as a PNG once it's done saving. Okay, let me save this as a PNG and I'll get it right over to you now. Game screen layout, there it is. Okay, now I'm going to save that. All right, beautiful. I'm going to drop that to you there now, Adam, on Telegram. Let me open up my Telegram. Okay, so I think we're pretty good with this kind of a layout for right now. It's looking pretty solid. I think it's a good jump off point. We can slightly alter things then once we start adding card aesthetics and this and that. So obviously, I'm going to look at that a little bit later. For whoever's watching, we're going to maybe get our icons down: hearts, spades, clubs, diamonds, and ultimately, it's going to be fun doing the kings, queens, jacks, jokers, aces, that kind of thing. We want a crypto centric. I've been doing a little bit of work on it, but we can start working on those. And you got the back of the cards when they're face down, of course. So that's going to be pretty cool to do that. It's all going to depend on the lore. We're still looking for game name ideas, everybody. So if you're watching in the chat, let us know what you got. What could you think? The original game was called Card Sharks. Now, we did, of course, think of Card Whales because it's crypto, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like it doesn't roll off the tongue as well. I think we could do better. So yeah, if anybody's got any good name ideas for what we should call this game show, please let us know. Adam, I'm going to send that to you right now. Where are you at? It is in I did call it Card Whales for now, just so I'd remember what it was. Okay, Adam, that is sent over to you now. You can get that. And what I'll do is, what are you doing right now? You're prepping Replit, is that right?
I'm prepping GPT here again.
Okay. Okay,
Just
yeah.
to pop
Sorry,
this
you're gonna feed it in there. Okay, so I'm gonna hide my screen. Do you want to share your screen there again, Adam?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute here.
All right. And of course, anybody that's tuning in, this is part of the PumpFun Hackathon. We are Mod Media. You can go and check out our website at moonerdust.media. We've built games before. We've built our other previous game show. Check it out down below. Coffee Coin played only this Wednesday. Our host Sean was heading it up. It was a really fun game. And we built all that from scratch, vibe coding, the exact way that we're showing you how to do it right now. We also built Rico's Revenge, which is a slot machine game that is going to be launching on Ape Church as well very soon. And we can dive into that too, maybe at some other point here. But right now, we're building the next game show that we're going to do, and it's based on the 1980s classic game show called Card Sharks. You can go and check that out. We played a clip of it early on yesterday just to get a feel before we started diving into GPT to build out the whole concept. And figure this all out. Okay, I'm going to add this to stage. Okay, here we are now back to GPT, and Adam is dialing this in. We're going to cut it back from 10 cards to 7 here now, just for, it's essentially real estate on screen. It works a lot better if we slim that down. So I think that does work. I think that's better instead of the 10. Make for a quicker game too, of course, with the time constraints that we're going to have. We want to try and slot it into 30 minutes. Max 30 minutes. And of course, they can end earlier. If it goes the full way 3 rounds, we want to hit at 30 minutes. But if it doesn't, it could fall into the 22 minute category, which is a nice sweet spot for exactly what we're trying to do here. But yeah, who else we got in the chat? Anybody got any good ideas for names? Let's see. Def need a creative name, Mr. Bitzel. Yeah, I agree. Crypto Sharks. Yeah, well, it was called Card Shark, Crypto Sharks, Crypto High-Low. Yeah, not bad. And we got to think about lore here too. So, we can add any lore. We can create any kind of a character we want. We can create any kind of a scene that we want. So everybody go and hit that herb nice and hard and then come back to me with some good ideas. All right, so what we're doing right here now, Adam, is we are telling it that we're going to cut it from 10 cards to 7. And of course, it's going to say that's the best idea ever. And we're going to add in this new layout that we just created using Photoshop. And of course, we are using ChatGPT right now to iron out our initial document with the ultimate goal of creating the master Replit prompt before we go and check out our MVP. And once we get to that stage, we'll start making some aesthetics, some graphics. We'll start building out our cards. And all that kind of fun stuff as well. So we'll be able to replace then whatever Replit produces with our own aesthetic cards and all that kind of thing. All right, Adam, so where are we at?
All right.
You got a prompt ready right there?
Yeah, okay, we've got your template attached. So now I will now provide a general layout of how we would like the main game board to look. See attached. We will reduce the ladder length to 7 cards, 10 fields too long. Layout. Contestant 1 PFP top left, StreamYard template. Just basically saying that we don't need to add that into the UI. It's basically going to be done on StreamYard. 7 card ladder to the right. Contestant 2 PFP below contestant 1 StreamYard template. 7 card ladder to the right. And the host PFP slightly larger below contestant 2 game info slash or game info box slash questions etc. to the right. Let's get a framework together for the best and cleanest implementation so we can add this to our GDD game design document replit prompt. So I'm going to pop that in and
All right.
see what we get back.
Let's see what we get. What's everybody? This is ChatGPT we're using. 5.2 is the latest model that we are using here. We do have a paid subscription to this, by the way. It's only on the lower tier. It's all we kind of really need for this, so it's not crazy expensive. I think it comes in at around what, $8.99 or $11.99 a month or something like that for the pro version, I believe. But you can do this with the regular version, the free version too, if you want. All right, let's have a read of what it has given us back. Got it. Your attached layout is StreamYard native. Stacked cameras left, game board right, and reducing the ladder to 7 cards is the right move for a 30-minute show. Below is a clean implementation framework you can drop into your GDD game design document and use as the basis for the initial replit build prompt. Number 1, broadcast architecture decision, StreamYard friendly. Recommended approach, single game board web app plus StreamYard screen share. Build a web page that renders the entire right side game board cards question data. In StreamYard, screen share a Chrome tab or a window showing only that board. StreamYard handles the left column host contestant. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. That's no problem.
Yeah.
You can go to number 2 there, layout specs. We'll figure out the StreamYard thing. It's not going to be a big deal. And I'll show everybody as well how we do that. Layout spec matches your mock. StreamYard left column. Yeah, it's going to be a full overlay. Actually, the whole screen is going to be taking up the entirety, or the layout is going to be taking up the entirety of the screen, and we'll then position the people in the right places through the templates here on StreamYard. You can build it out yourself, position all the cameras wherever you want them, and you can add up to 10 cameras in here, I believe, as well. So we should be good. Contestant 1, cam PFP top left. Contestant 2, cam PFP middle left, and host cam PFP bottom left, slightly larger. Game board web app right side, shared screen, 2 ladders, and bottom info panel. A, ladder row, contestant 1, 7 cards horizontally, card 1 base face up, cards 2 to 7 face down until revealed. Optional small labels above row 1, name, score indicators. Yeah, we can add all that UI in and the data as much as possible. Because like I said, it's very important that if somebody just turns it on, it's in the middle of a game, they can understand everything. They need to be understand the position contestant 1 is in, the position contestant 2 is in, what stage we're at, what round we're on, whether it's sudden death. All these things need to be immediately understandable if you just tune in, like I said, halfway through the show or whatever. So it's important that we do that. And that's the option labels. Ladder row, contestant 2, same, 7 card row, bottom panel, question plus game data, large question text, 2 lines max. Area 4, current guest number, challenger, higher or lower selection, reveal result, the correct number, turn indicator, who controls, round score, best of 3, and status, banners, freeze, ice card, lucky match, wrong call. And again, whoever's turn it is, we could have like a flashing border around whichever contestant is running on the ladder at the moment in time, whoever has control of the board. It could be like a highlighted kind of ladder or something like that. UI components, what you actually build, card component. So this is a list basically of what we're going to create in Photoshop and using AI, using OpenArt when we get to that phase here very soon. Card component, stateful rendering, face down, face up, rank and suit. Ice card, hold on, I'm going to pop this down here so I can read that a little easier. There we go. Card component, stateful rendering, face down, face up, rank and suit. Ice card, special visual, locked, optional, indicates frozen checkpoint. Highlight current base card, active, reveal target. Maybe we can have a little ice, kind of an overlay on a card when you hit that, or a freeze or whatever it is. Ladder component, 7 cards, data per contestant. Card 7, reveal state plus value, position, index of last progress card, 0 to 6. Base index usually equals position. Frozen index, last freeze position, and has control bool. Okay. 3. Question panel displays current question plus phase state, displays numeric guess entry, higher lower selection, reveal button, and outcome. Number 4, score plus round tracker, round wins. C1, C2, 0 of 2, round number 1 to 3. Tie state for sudden death, round logic. And then we have the producer control bar, operator UI, 2 modes, broadcast view, clean for screen share, control view, hidden or separate URL with buttons and inputs. So these are actually going to be 2 separate windows, Adam, that people won't actually see, right? I mean, the control panels, the producer panel, none of those will be
Yes.
visible, obviously. So these are going to be separate windows that we will have in the background as a producer, as the host. The producer, which will
Correct.
most likely probably be me or Adam. There will be controls in the background to move the game forward, just like we have in Moon or Dust game show. And we can show you that as well, maybe in the future here. Once we kind of get through this, once we get to that point, those windows, we can show you the ones that we already built for Moon or Dust itself, so you can get an idea of what that is. So for that, we have the producer portal window, and then we also have the host window, and then we have the main game show window. So there's actually 3 different windows that are used, and the only one the viewer actually sees that we live stream and share is the actual game board window itself. Okay, so moving
Yeah.
on. Yeah, separate URLs. There we go. Best practice. That's it. Board control, producer controls, screen broadcast view. Exactly. Producer controls would consist of next question, reroll question, skip, lock in, answerer, C1, C2 for the numeric guess, enter guess number, opponent selects higher or lower, reveal survey answer, start card, run, enable higher or lower calls, reveal next card, freeze, force turnover for testing, manual override, set base card, set position, and it's a fail safe. Okay, and chime in here at any moment, Adam, if there's anything you want to add, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of taking it all in as you're reading it, and then kind of,
Right.
the usual, just see what it's popping out there. One of the things that you were mentioning there is about the different URLs. We'll probably be going with some sort of WebSocket controls for that, and most likely one database that they all pull, because you kind of want a single source of truth when the game is playing live. That was one of the issues we came up against when we were generating the audience participation questions with Moon or Dust, was it was generating different questions because it wasn't using a single source of truth from a database. So then to have everything connected, you need everything synced together, the producer, the live game board, and the host controls all coming from a single source of truth, basically via WebSocket, because obviously we're in different parts of the world. You've got latency, you've got all those kind of things to take into consideration. So every time something is clicked or changed, you need it to happen as quickly as possible, so that the host sees it, so that it transmits onto the game board, and that everybody is seeing the same data. The host is seeing the same as the producer, is seeing the same as the audience on the board. So that's just one of the things. That's where this best practice separate URLs comes in.
I see. We did have a game name. Moon Deck was a suggestion here in the chat. What's up, Trakoshi? Show me all the tricks. Migor, welcome. Hey, Dev. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining the live stream.
Welcome, Migor.
I haven't seen you around, but thanks for jumping in with us. I hope you're learning something today. If you're only jumping in for the first time, go down and check the previous streams there, and you can see the first day where we got to this point. It's quite a long stream, but it is very, very necessary to get a strong foundation here before we start moving forward. Okay, game phases, state machine. This is critical for reliability. Use explicit phrases. Round in it, deal opening high card to determine first answerer. Question prompt, show question text, numeric guess, answer inputs, guess 0 to 100. Higher lower call, opponent selects higher lower. Reveal survey, reveal correct number, determine control. Card run, controller may swap base card only if control earned via question or ice card rule grants it. Controller calls higher, lower, reveal cards can freeze. Turn end if freeze or bust / turnover. Go back to question prompt. Round win, someone clears all 7 cards. Match win, best of 3 complete. Sudden death can just be same flow, but with a no freeze flag if you decide you You haven't locked this yet for 7-card ladder. Updated core rules to encode. Okay. Keep your current rules, just scale. Ladder, 7 cards per contestant. First card face up, base. Swap rule allowed when control is gained by winning survey question. Ice card turnover, your rule grants swap. Not allowed when control gained by opponent missing a card call unless you choose otherwise later. Freeze, controller may freeze at any time on their turn. Freeze locks progress at current position. Ice card 50, third card in the player's deck. When revealed during card turns, immediately ends the controller's run. Forced freeze at current progress. Control passes to the opponent. Opponent granted swap as per your rule. No survey question required. Same rank reveal equals advance. When next card equals base rank, which is basically if you get a pair, if you get a 2 and then the next you say higher and the next one's a 2, treat as a lucky match, advance 1 card on the ladder and retain control. New base remains same rank, effectively unchanged. All right. So what we got there, Adam? What's up next?
Okay, yeah, so we've got the data model, game design document, build prompt friendly, minimal objects. Okay, so we got match state, round number, we got the round wins, so that's tallying who's winning what. You got the active player, so basically who is actually has control of the cards, your controller, who controls the card run. Phase, round initiation, question prompt. Okay, then you've got question state. Question text is a string, guessed by whoever's guessing it, guess the value. Call by, call direction, higher or lower. Reveal the answer. Okay, player state for each C1, C2. Okay, that determines the card slot you're on, the position you are on the ladder, whether you're frozen, which card you're currently on in the deck state, because obviously as the rounds go through, you're still using the same deck. So it's basically like the deck is shuffled and your first 7 cards are pulled out of the deck. And then once you go through the round 1, all those cards are discarded, but you're still using the same deck and they go back in. The cards are discarded and you're just basically pulling off the top of the remainder of the deck to fill the next ladder for the next round. As far as I know, that's how it works. So you kind of know what's already gone from your first round if you're kind of keeping track. So we've got visual cleanliness rules, broadcast UX. To keep the board readable in StreamYard, huge typography for question and key numbers, limit question length max 110 characters. Use a 2-liner wrap with ellipsis, always show control contestant, so who's in control. I think we could do that like with maybe having their PFP highlighted or their ladder highlighted in some way.
Even both, yeah. Maybe both.
Playing. Yeah.
Probably the ladder because the PFP itself is going to be in StreamYard, so it will be difficult for it to highlight that. So probably just the ladder.
Yeah. So always show a status banner during card run. Call higher, call lower. Freeze, ice card, lucky match. Okay. Replit build prompt starter high level. When you're ready, your replit prompt should ask for a web app with 2 routes. / board, clean broadcast view / control, producer controls. So something we're going to have to add in here is the host screen so that the host can see the progress of the game and see what's coming up. I mean, we kind of need to trash that out and what's relevant in this situation for the host to see. Is it overly relevant to have a host screen in this?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe there's no need.
The
question is going to pop up. It's going to pop up.
Yeah,
it's kind of it outside of that. He's just going to be guiding them through higher, lower. It's going to be, it's going to be swift. Yeah. Like running through those rounds is pretty swift. When you watch it on the old game show, like it's like higher, lower. The audience is constantly cheering. Like, it's higher, lower, higher. So it's kind of it's almost like a clean run like that. So it happens pretty quickly.
Yeah. And then if someone freezes, it just kind of calms down for a second, and then it's like, okay, you're ready, and it's kind of hyped up again, and the other contestant gets to go. But when they're actually running across the board, it is pretty. It's pretty snappy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so maybe the host controls isn't, or not even host controls, just host view might not be necessary at all.
Yep.
So a deterministic state machine, question bank loader, pre-batch to 50, buttons to advance phases, plus reveal outcomes, keyboard shortcuts, optional but huge for live operations. If you want next, I can convert this into a game design ready section. Okay, so I think we're getting pretty close to getting our prompt together. So let's.
There was one thing there that it said that we didn't lock in. What was that?
Yes, that was about the 7 cards. Let's see here.
It was to do with the freeze or something. Is that right?
Just
Or
up here, yeah. Same flow, but with no freeze. This is a sudden death. Because we
Okay,
had, I think it dropped to 7 cards, I think, in sudden death.
For
So
sudden
maybe
death.
it should, maybe for sudden death it should drop to 5 cards.
you think? Or could we
Well,
just
if
leave it
someone's
at
got
7?
Someone's got to do a run.
Yeah, I suppose 5
7
cards would be
card
better.
run without being able to freeze or.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Whoever's in the chat, what do you think? Should we drop
Yeah.
sudden death to 5 cards? That's a good idea. Let us know. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Yeah, 5 cards. Yeah, because if you're. Yeah, because if you think about it, for the sudden death, so whoever gets the survey question right, they get to decide whether they're going to go themselves, and they do have the option to freeze, and they do
force.
have the option to swap the first card.
Right.
Or their other option is force the other contestant to do a run without the ability to swap or freeze, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Is there freezing allowed in sudden death? There is, right?
Well, I don't think initially there was. You either take on the run or you get your opponent to take on the run.
Okay.
You get the option to swap, but they don't if you force them to do it. I believe that's kind of how it worked.
Right.
Let's see what we got in here. Let's see what everybody thinks. Okay, Tazzy's got some good names here. All right, we got a shit ton. We're using ChatGPT.
All right.
Crypto Cartel, Shark
hope so.
Syndicate, Whale Wars, House of Whales, the Blackfin Cartel. He's keeping it with the whole Mod Mafia's theme. I like it. Deepwater Shark Syndicate, Sharks and Ledgers, Dead Man's Ledger, House Always Whales, Blood on the Blockchain, the Long Shark Con, Deep Sea Dawn, Chain Made, Fishy Business, Capos and Crypto, Dirty Tokens, Sharks, Fin Boss, and Deep Stake. Shit, a lot to mull over there, Tazzy. I like it. There's some of them in there that I do like, I have to say. Whale Wars is kind of cool. I like that. Just trying to think that I mean, I guess the original name was Card Shark, so it had kind of ties to cards, I guess. So
House
maybe
of
the
Wales
name-
kind of
House of
hints
Wales
to it.
is like House of Cards. Yeah, I like that one. Whale Wars, House of
Yeah.
Wales, kind of pretty good. Yeah, I like those. There's some good suggestions in there for sure. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Keep thinking. We'll be doing the same over here. So far, I think House of Wales is probably one of the
Yeah,
one
I
of the
like
better
House of
ones that I've
Wales.
seen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
House of
Keep them
Wales.
coming, though,
It
guys.
is.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, get a few more in there, and maybe we'll run a poll in the chat. If we have
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 to go off and see what people think.
Yeah, I like it. Good idea. Some good suggestions there, Tazzy. Thank you, sir. Keep them coming. Whale ladder, not too bad. Whale ladder. Okay, so what you got there, Adam?
Okay, so we're going to go with dropping. Did anyone give any feedback in the chat about dropping it to 5?
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything just yet. I mean, I think that's a strong move. It'll really
Yeah.
speed it up too. But what do you guys think? Do you think for the sudden death round we drop this to 5 cards? So it's kind of, because obviously it's a straight run. You can't freeze. You can't do anything. If it's 7 cards, it might be a tall order. But if we drop it to 5 for the sudden death match, yeah, Eric is thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think so too, Eric. I think it's a good way to go for this one. We had 10 and it dropped to 7, so in other words, 7. We drop it to 5 for the sudden death. It'll be better too for time constraints and things like that. So, yeah, good show, good show. And of course, if you are just tuning in right now, we are moonordust.media. You can go and check out our website there. We got tons going on. We're a gaming studio, content creation studio. We live stream 5 days a week, doing a live trending show, um, highlighting all the best projects that use our bot. You can pick up the bot there too at moonordust.media. If you go to the trending section there, you can add it. There's a little button that'll bring it right. It'll prompt you and open your Telegram. You can add the bot, give it the admin permissions, get your community voting. There's boost options on there. We do that live 5 days a week. We do token reviews where there's advertising sponsorship opportunities on there. We're a game studio as well. We make tons of content. Our other partner, Sean, as well, makes tons of content. He's got a big YouTube channel over there, 100,000 plus subscribers. Been doing it for many, many years. Token reviews, crypto talk, all that kind of thing. And of course, we're making games, and we do have our very first game going to be launching on Ape Church very soon as well. It's called Rico's Revenge. We built that, and of course, we do have our own game show as well that you can see down there. Latest episode with Space Cat, who was representing Coffee Coin, taking on our AI whales from the last game show that we did build. No, we didn't build it in public, but we did test it in public. But this time, we're going to do the whole kit and caboodle. We're going to build it all here live as part of the PumpFun Hackathon. And we want all of you guys to join in with us, help us come up with names, ideas, everything as we're building, as we're growing this out. So I appreciate everybody showing up in the live to help us out with that. And I hope all you guys are learning along here with us as well. Like I always say, the AI is not going to replace you. It's the people that know how to use it. It's going to replace you. So upskilling here, and like it's not as daunting as you think to get this. We're going to have an MVP product here maybe at some point today or else tomorrow by the time we finalize this, and we're going to start diving into some aesthetic stuff as well now once we get this initial concept trashed out here with GPT, which is what we're using right now. It's the 5.2 version. So if you do have it, this is how we do it. This is the process. I'd say all in all so far, like teasing all this out, if we're talking about hours, you're probably looking about 4 to 5 hours between going back and forth, analyzing, tweaking, adding features if you want them. So yeah, so that is that's the process. And of course, a very, very strong foundation is very, very important before we actually send anything to Replit to start the build. We want to tease as much out as possible here, right, Adam?
Yeah, exactly. Like we were saying yesterday, spending a little bit of extra time trashing everything out at the very start will save you a ton of time once you actually initiate the build with the AI agents and stuff like that, because going through it here and just getting a solid framework down at the very start is crucial, especially when it comes to game flow logic, how it actually works, because that can get messed up very, very quickly if you're building. So having that game design document always there for reference, because you can reference that when you're going back and forth with the agent in Replit. You can say, okay, well, look at the game design document, because once it makes its initial build, there's going to be a lot of stuff that it left out, even in the game design document. It'll get the basics down, but then you'll go and you'll hit something and a lot of stuff won't work. And then what you want to do then is you want to keep referencing the game design document to say, okay, well, look at the layout and how this is supposed to work. So that is why it's so important to get the game design document down and the initial prompt exactly where you want them to be. So it's always better to spend a bit of extra time at the start if it's needed to get that framework down and get it solid before you go in and start the build.
Mm-hmm.
So I just on the dropping it to 5 for the sudden death ladder. I said, let's trash out the pros and cons of dropping the ladder to 5 for sudden death, advantages, disadvantages for the player and control, etc. So good. This is a format tension tuning question, not just a cosmetic change. Dropping sudden death to 5 cards instead of 7 materially shifts probability, pacing, and perceived fairness. We'll break it down from a production and gameplay standpoint so you can decide whether it fits your live stream goals. First principle: what sudden death is for. Sudden death should resolve the match quickly, increase tension, reduce stall potential, feel decisive, not grindy. If it drags, viewers disengage fast, so the ladder length matters more here than in normal rounds. Advantages of 5 card sudden death ladder. Stronger climax energy, biggest benefit. 5 cards means faster resolution, more high stakes feel, less repetitive card calling for live stream. This is excellent pacing. B. Lower cognitive load, players already under pressure, survey decision, card probability, ice card risk. Shorter ladder, cleaner decision tree, better TV. Reduces ice card distortion. With 7 cards, ice card probability accumulates. Sudden death could feel RNG heavy. With 5 cards, less exposure to ice card randomness. That improves perceived fairness. Keeps match within 30-minute targets. This is practical if rounds go long. Sudden death shouldn't extend runtime significantly. 5 cards protects your broadcast schedule. Encourages aggressive play. Short ladder, players less likely to freeze early. Momentum player plays better. That increases drama. Disadvantages of 5 card sudden death ladder. Increased look factor. Short ladder means skill influence decreases slightly. Example: one bad flip, immediate loss. Some players may feel that was coin flippy, especially crypto audience sensitive to RNG. Reduced comeback opportunity. With 7 cards, slight recovery window exists. Strategy more layered. With 5, mistakes punished quickly. Less showcase of strategy. Your mechanics include an ice card, same rank advancement, freeze decision. Short ladder reduces opportunities to demonstrate those, but that may be acceptable in sudden death. Impact on player and control. Critical question. Player who wins sudden death question gets first card control, optional base card swap. Here's how 5 card ladder affects them. Stronger first mover advantage. Short ladder, momentum matters more. Early correct calls are critical. This slightly favors the controller. Less opponent recovery window. Opponent has fewer chances to regain control, so winning the survey question matters more. It's arguably fair. Disadvantages for controller: higher variance. Short ladder increases single card impact and ice card shock effect. Controller advantage isn't overwhelming. Then you've got the impact on the player forced to play if you keep that mechanic, which I think probably should. If the controller forces the opponent to play, 5 card ladder means harder for forced player. Less freeze opportunities, fewer recovery flips, so forcing becomes more attractive. That adds strategic depth. Viewer experience comparison. 7 card sudden death feels classic, strategic, slightly longer tension build. 5 card sudden death feels modern, punchy, high drama. For live stream, 5 card usually wins. Interaction with your special mechanics. Important to evaluate the ice card. Short ladder reduces RNG distortion, which is good. Same rank advancement, still meaningful but not dominant. Balanced. Freeze mechanics, still relevant but fewer opportunities, good for tension. Production considerations often overlooked. Host commentary flow improves with 5, less filler needed. Chat engagement improves, more decisive moments. Clip potential increases, faster highlight cycles. Recommendations based on the format. Given live stream environment, 30-minute target, ice card already adds volatility, crypto audience tolerance for RNG, 5 card sudden death ladder is the stronger choice. It aligns with modern pacing expectation, broadcast energy, production simplicity, and it avoids overcomplicating the final round. So the 5 card, fast resolution, high drama, better pacing, reduced ice card, RNG distortion, cleaner broadcast climax. Disadvantages: slightly more look driven, less strategic runway, harder comebacks. Bottom line: 7 card normal rounds, 5 card sudden death. That's a very clean structure, and honestly, it's TV smart. So, GPD thinks that the 5 card sudden death is the way to go,
All right.
and I believe Eric agreed.
Yeah, and we do have some more Shark Tanked. The whale deck, deal or get whaled, dead man's deck, whale take all, the card game, card sharks, deep water, deep deals, deep aces, whale take all, pocket whales. All right. For Drakoshi, it would be high or low. All right. Get up and do a dance, Mr. P. Hey, dude, I need some music for that. Do I have any music? You got any music in the background here? I know, yeah, you've seen us all dancing for so for so many of those many AI clips that he's put out. I know. Yeah, I could disappoint you. There's no way I'm going to be as good a dancer as on those clips, bro. Certainly not. Josh, you're checking out, brother. No worries. Go ahead, enjoy your dinner, my friend. This will be posted, of course,
See you, Josh.
tomorrow on. Of course, it'll be down here at the bottom of PumpFun as well in the previous streams. But it will also be posted over on our other channels on Rumble, on X, and on YouTube tomorrow after the fact. So you can check them out there after too. All right. So whereabouts are we at here, Adam?
Okay,
We're kind of locked.
gonna
We're
take,
getting pretty close to being locked in, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Oh, hold on, there's some music here. What's this sound like? Yeah, I don't have enough runway here, brother. I'd never get a good dance going. I mean, I'm not bad, but I'm certainly not great. I could see I haven't done it much, to be honest. I haven't done a lot of dancing lately. Maybe Christmas I did a little bit. But yeah. Okay, so we are locking in the 5-card ladder here using GPT. Of course, if you are just joining, that's the software we're using right now. In order to get our the goal here is to iron out every little detail, everything we can think of prior to creating our master Replit prompt, where we'll go, Adam will feed that into Replit, and we should get spit out a little kind of an MVP product that we can kind of play around with, test out. And then after that, we'll be doing tweaks on that, and we'll be using some other softwares that I'll be using, like OpenArt and things like that, to create the aesthetics. I'll also be using Photoshop, which you saw a little earlier when we were making out that mock-up for the actual game board layout itself. So yeah, so that is what we're using. So if anybody proficient here with any of these tools that we're using? I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT. But is anybody out there use any Adobe products? Anybody use Photoshop or Premiere, After Effects, anything like that? You got any subscriptions to any of those? And is anybody familiar with OpenArt? This is the link to it there. It's openart.ai. It's like an all-in-one. You got loads of different image creation models, video creation models, all AI based, of course. You know, it's one of those. It's got tons of different tools in there for removing backgrounds, changing things. You can literally chat to edit. And you got tons of different models in there. You know, it's using all the top ones: Seedream, Nano Banana, all of those big dogs. And I believe Kling 3.0 just came out as well, and that's an animation software basically for video creation. But I saw one of the channels that I follow. It's called Theoretically Media. It's actually a really good channel. That guy does a really good job, and I just saw the thumbnail for it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but yes, Kling 3.0 has dropped, so I got to check that out and see what extra saucy features that they got. But you can go and check out the software that we are going to be using. It's openart.ai. And I think a lot of these softwares too, you can just sign up and you get some free credits, so you can go and test it out. And I'll be deep diving into it. If you go back to the very, very first episode here, episode 1 of the Build in Public Hackathon, you can see that, and I give a quick little rundown on all the different features that are built into that software as well. So it's one of the softwares that I use a lot. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using to create our AI images and stuff like that. And I'll be using a bit of ChatGPT too, actually, to generate prompts and stuff that I need. Okay, we got someone using Copilot and just started using Canva. Yeah, Canva actually is another one. I use that as well. I'm not sure. I know they have a lot of AI integration. I did try to build out the decks using the AI integration, but I found one better for building decks. If you guys want to check it out, it's called Gamma.app, and it's specifically designed for creating big decks like that. It does all the artwork for you. It's got a really intuitive AI. So you can go and check that one out too if it's for that kind of purpose. But I do know Canva give you a lot of stuff, and I think they have VO3 and all that stuff integrated as well. But yeah, Copilot. I haven't used much of Copilot. Adam, you use much of Copilot?
No, I haven't. No, to be honest, not really.
That's something similar to Replit. Is it something? Oh, well, Copilot actually is Microsoft, isn't that right? Copilot's Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's built into Windows, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, and I guess they do have their own image design software and stuff built into that as well. But I don't use it. And I do use
Yeah.
Windows, but I haven't really used Copilot too much, to be honest. And what do you? I'm just curious. Who? I'm not sure who I'm talking to there. DB. But what do you use them for? What do you use Copilot and Canva for? I'm curious
Is
to
is it
see.
like,
Are you in
is
that line of work?
Copilot kind of like, is Copilot like kind of like ChatGPT and stuff, just the Microsoft
Well,
version? Like
yeah, it is, but I'm not sure if it has a built-in image generator as well with it or not. Maybe DB, you can let us know. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you actually use those for. What's your line of work? But yeah, so where are we at here, Adam? You just prompted it. Okay, let's lock in the 5-card ladder for sudden death. Let's now prepare the GDD, game design document, and replit prompt. Are there any other outstanding items that need clarification before we move to the initial build? Okay, good. Locking 5-card sudden death is the right moment to pause and sanity check before committing to the GDD build and build prompt. At this stage, you're very close to implementation ready, but there are still a few structural clarifications that will prevent costly rebuilds later. I'll split this into number 1, critical items to finalize before coding. Number 2, nice to decide now, but not blockers. Number 3, technical implementation decisions for Replit. Number 4, production workflow clarifications, StreamYard specific. Number 5, final readiness assessment. This will keep your game design document tight and your first build stable. Number 1, critical clarifications before build. Strongly recommend locking. A, freeze rules in sudden death not fully locked. You've discussed no freeze allowed in sudden death, traditional tension approach, but also consistency of mechanics. Decision needed. Option 1, no freeze is recommended. Forces decisive ending, prevents stalling, first 5-card ladder. Or sorry, fits 5-card ladder. Option 2, hold on, I'm going to drop this on here so people can read that a little better. Let me hide this banner. Okay, so option 2, freeze allowed, more strategic, but could prolong the final. My recommendation, no freeze in sudden death, cleaner TV. Okay, if you can scroll down there another little bit, Adam. B, ice card behavior in sudden death. Currently, ice card forces freeze plus turnover, but if freeze disabled, clarify. When ice card appears in sudden death, does it still pass control? Does ladder progress lock? Does opponent immediately play? I think we want to keep it in. I think it does the exact same thing as it does, because it can help the person that got forced to play if they hit it. And it's like, all right, it's on you now.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of that dynamic in there. All kinds of stuff, memes, AI friend. Nice. Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah.
And that's DB telling me there what he uses Canva and Copilot for. Oh,
So we made the decision.
Okay, my apologies there, guys. I got to turn off the sound on here. There we go. Okay, so where are we at? Ice card behavior. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Let's lock that in. So once we get to that point, let's keep reading here. Or sorry, is there something else you're looking at? That's the ice card behavior.
So just as we're going through them here, we'll just say A, no freeze. Just to get all these clarifications down here, no freeze. And then we're on to B.
B, the question is ice card behavior and sudden death. Do we allow it to still function? And yes, we absolutely do. It functions just how it normally does. And again, you want to keep that consistency. You want to have it in there at all times so the rules don't change for the final round. We kind of went over that a little yesterday too. And C, deck reset between rounds. This is a big one. Options, fresh deck every round, recommended.
This is just what I was talking about there earlier. If because people can kind of see then if whatever they've knocked out in the first round, they'll know if you're keeping the same deck and just picking off the top of the remaining deck and the other ones get discarded from, let's say, round 1, you kind of know what's remaining in the deck, and some people might be able to might be good.
Yeah, you want a fresh deck every ladder, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's good. Okay, so going to lock that in. Fresh deck.
So no card counting. That was kind of my.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My take back on that one. So C, fresh deck.
Okay, and D, question bank exhaustion logic. You said 50 pre-generated clarify. Questions cannot repeat in same match. Producer reroll allowed any time. Recommended no repeats within match. Producer skip allowed. Yes, that's absolutely what we want to do.
Yeah. No repeat interaction, skip it all. So that is D.
Yeah, both of those, no repeats.
Okay. Pop that up there.
Okay.
Slow there.
So then we got E, tie scenario inside sudden death. Rare but possible. Example, both bust quickly. Fine, immediate redraw question. Repeat sudden death. Okay, why? How is it saying this now? If there's a tie, how would there be a tie? Okay, so let's trash this out. So if a freeze happens on sudden death and it skips to the
Yeah.
other player, then they either complete the ladder or they lose. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Because if they get
Or
one
the ice
wrong,
card. If the ice card pops up, let's say we're calling it for now.
but if the ice card pops up, it just goes to the other. It freezes them there. Goes to the other player and forces the other player to finish the
Yeah,
round.
but you can't freeze in sudden death, right? There's no freeze option. Only if the
Uh,
ice card pops up is the only time it
Yeah,
can
sorry,
freeze.
sorry. Sudden death, there is no freeze. We decided on no freeze.
Y-
So if the player that got the question right decides to go for it themselves, they do have the option to swap their first card,
Yes.
but they got to do a clean run after that. If they don't
Mm.
decide to go and they force the other player to go,
They
um,
don't swap.
the other player, they don't get the option to swap. They got to go and do a clean run.
And in that situation, almost like getting that ice card can be a blessing, you know, as well.
It could
So
be,
kind of,
it could
yeah.
be.
Okay, so
So
how
let's
would there possibly be a tie? I'm not sure
let's
exactly
see.
how there could be a tie in this scenario, but let it explain, I guess, how it's figuring that out
Okay,
or where it's coming to that
that's E.
conclusion. Okay. Okay, scroll down there to the next one.
Okay, this is it here. Nice to decide, but not mandatory.
Okay. A countdown timer per turn. Live stream pacing benefits from 10 to 15-second call timer. Optional but helpful. We'll see if we need it. We can implement it, but I don't think we'll need something like that. In my opinion, what do you
Um,
think? I don't think we'll need a timer.
Live stream pacing benefits from. Yeah, I don't think so.
We can try it out, and if worst comes to the worst, when we're timing it, we can see if that's something that we'll need. But I don't think we will, honestly. B, host override controls. Highly recommended. Manual card reveal override, manual score correction, emergency reset. Yeah, I think we want all of those.
Well, we kind of decided that we don't really need a host controls.
Oh, sorry, I was confusing that with the producer controls.
We're kind of getting
Yeah.
muffled there again. Not sure why that is.
It just happens there from time to time. I don't know. I think it might be a StreamYard thing. Is that any better?
Yeah, you're good there again.
Yeah, it just does it there sometimes. Pain my ass.
So
Okay, yeah.
B.
B, we don't need it.
Yes.
We don't need any host override controls at all. We don't even need any host window, I don't think, at this
No.
moment. Only producer window.
Okay.
Next is the visual branding elements. We don't need to decide on any of that just yet. We can dive into that a little later. So you can just say, ignore. 3, technical implementation. Perfect. Ignore for now. 3, technical implementation clarifications for Replit. RNG method for cards. Options. Simple pseudo random shuffle. Fine for MVP. Fast. Adequate for entertainment. Verifiable randomness. Later crypto tie-in, blockchain, Oracle, etc. I don't think we need to go to those extents.
No.
Okay.
So A will just.
Simple pseudo random shuffle.
Yeah.
So that's 3. You're on to 3A now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is that one. And then we have, let's scroll to the next one here, and I can read that out.
Okay.
Okay, B, state persistence. Important question. Should game state survive page refresh? Recommendation, yes. Use backend state store. Otherwise, yeah, I agree.
Yes,
Just in
for
case we
sure.
have a glitch out or a bug out or you need a refresh, it's not going to like go and restart the whole game again. It'll pick you up where you left off.
Yeah.
So I think that's smart. And D, question storage format.
Now we're on to C there. That's the
Oh, C,
control
sorry.
interface
Control
separation.
interface separation. Already discussed, but confirm board control. Yeah, that's all we need. Both of those.
Yeah, C.
Correct. D, question storage format. You will want JSON file, easy loading, easy updates, and portable. Okay. Not really a question. More of a
We'll just say
statement.
yes, that is it.
And number 4, we're on to StreamYard production workflow clarification, screen share resolution. Don't worry about that. Forget about StreamYard now. We'll figure that out ourselves.
4.
Okay. Camera crop consideration. Yeah, that's all StreamYard. Keep going down. Okay, final mechanics sanity check. Your current game. This is where you stand. Main round, 7 card letters, freeze allowed, ice card present, same rank equals advance, best of 3 match. Okay, that's all good. Sudden death, 5 card letters, high card draw determines question control, ice card active, same rank advance active, freeze likely disabled pending confirmation. Yeah, freeze is disabled.
Yeah, we confirmed that earlier.
Yeah. 6, one overlooked but important item. Player control visibility indicator on board clearly show who has control. This prevents, yes, we do want that. So we're looking at some kind of a highlight border, glowing border or something like that for the player control to see who is in control of the board at the moment. Okay, we're on to 6.
Okay, player control visibility indicator is controlled. Correct. We're on to 7. Are you ready to build?
Honestly, yes, with 2 small clarifications. Freeze rule and sudden death, recommend no. Yeah, it seems like it's not clarified that. Clarify that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, we will. We've just gone through the whole thing. It's clarified up here. So once we
Okay,
hit the save,
yes,
it
you
will be
got it up there.
clarified.
Okay, it's just asking again.
Yeah.
Ice card, exact behavior, and sudden death. Everything else is solid. You've done more pre-production thinking than most shows. That'll pay off. Oh, we know. We've been down this road. So yeah, it's going to be a lot easier moving forward here. Because we're putting in the work here on the early end, but it's very, very important. Can't stress how important it is to do all this teasing out. No house will stand under a faulty foundation, everybody. So you got to have a really strong foundation before we go and hit Replit and get our first build. It'll serve us well in the long run. Less friction as we build it out. So yes, very, very important to do that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So I think we've clarified all that stuff. We're honing in here now. We're pretty much there. So let's lock these in.
Yes, and
finalize
shout out
the
to
game
our
using the document.
and a big shout out to our guy Billy there. He is cranking it, and he is there raiding as well in our main Telegram chat. So if anybody is watching, please go over there. He's raiding under the founder of PumpFun's posts, I believe. So go over there, show him some love. He's putting in the grind. So please give him some likes, some retweets, give him some comments. Let's see if we can get some more attention from PumpFun. And of course, if you are watching and you're just tuning in, or this is the first you've seen us, we are moonordust.media, mod media. You can go and check out our website there, moonordust.media. And this particular show, is the development show for the PumpFun Hackathon, a mod media live build where we're going to be building a live crypto game show. We've already built one. No, we didn't build it in public. We did test it in public, but this time we're going to build it all as part of the hackathon. And I hope all you guys can follow along and maybe build your own games as well. So yeah, that is what we are doing here, everybody. So of course, when we're out there and people are raiding under the PumpFun founders post, we need to get as much engagement as possible, and we need to show really strong presence, a united front, and we're going to bag this from PumpFun. We want to be one of those 12 selected as the winners. So we're going to give it everything we got. And we're going to make an awesome game show. Again, you can go and check out a game that we've already built called Moon or Dust. It's a deal or no deal style game that we built a while back relatively quickly. AI has progressed since then, so we can build these even quicker these days. So yeah, you can go and check that out. Coffee Coin was playing. Space Cat representing Coffee Coin played just this Wednesday gone. And you can see what that game show is all about. And we'll give you some more insights into that as well, into maybe the back end portals, the producer portal, the host portal, just so you can get an idea of what you usually don't see on screen and what extra measures have to be taken to be able to move the game along, produce it in real time and all that stuff. So yeah, go check it out. And right now we are using ChatGPT to tease out the entire concept of this game. It's going to be based on a classic 1980s game show called Card Sharks, and that's what we're kind of basing this new game that we're building around. And it's going to be another live crypto game show that we're gonna launch once we have it built, and we're going to be testing it and building it here live with the community. So all feedback is welcome. If you're in the chat or if you're watching this after the fact, jump into the Moon or Dust Telegram, leave comments on YouTube and stuff. We'll be dropping this there tomorrow. All the lives happen here on PumpFun. But you can see them after the fact over there too. And we want all feedback, very welcome. As many ideas, we want to build this alongside everybody that's watching as well. And hopefully you learn something and you realize that, like I said, it is not as daunting as you think to create something like this. Just so once you know the process, you know the softwares, and you know how to articulate what you're trying to get done. And hopefully everything that we're doing here will give you the confidence to be able to do that and, make your own game. And it doesn't have to be anywhere near as complex as this. You could make a teeny little game, small little thing, and just to test it out. And of course, we're always here and we're available too for people to, we're available in the Moon or Dust Telegram chat. If you're building your own game, you got any questions about, something that we've done here and you're looking how to implement it. Adam is always here for the techie stuff. I'll always be here for the graphics and all that kind of stuff, whatever help you need. And we're happy to spitball with all you guys too. So yeah, I hope this is benefiting you guys. Keep upskilling with AI. That's where the future is. And that's where the turnaround is. You can go from simple concept right up to an MVP product within a matter of a day or less. Like if we kept cranking on yesterday, we'd probably be having the MVP today and a little further along too. But for the purposes of the hackathon and the show, we're going to go live, and we don't want you to miss anything. We're not really doing anything behind the scenes. Everything's going to be live here for everybody to see the whole process as raw as it is.
Yep.
All right, so where are we at, Adam? We got 2 responses here.
Yeah. So here
I'll be right back. One moment.
All right, so here, locked. You've now made all the key build decisions. The only open item you flag is how a tie could happen in sudden death. I'll clarify that first, and I'll give you a game design document, Replit one-shot build prompt for the initial MVP. And then the other responsible one, lock, you've now defined everything needed to write the GG section, the one-shot Replit build prompt, clarification how a tie could happen. So let's see which one of these. Okay, it's got the prompt in there. Little build prompt there as well. It's a straight up copy paste. Deliverables, tech preferences, tech stack, Node.js and Express for server. Tech preference clean UI available already. Text use clear as well. Control ice card locally match. Okay. Okay, so I think we probably maybe go with let's go with response number 2. I think it's the other one is given a little bit little bit too much detail. Let's give the AI a little bit more free rein as well and see how it goes. So, okay, how a tie can happen and how we resolve it. With your rules, a tie isn't say in progress after time. Since we're not using timers, a tie can occur if sudden death fails to produce a winner due to symmetry or premature termination. Tie case 1, double stall at start. Most plausible example. Sudden death begins. Question decides control. The controlling player immediately loses control before meaningful progress. Wrong call very early or ice card triggers instantly. Opponent then also loses control early. You can end up in a loop where neither player clears the 5 card ladder and you hit a dead moment where the show needs a deterministic next step.
I'm still not understanding exactly how that's a tie.
Yeah, this isn't a mathematical tie, it's a production tie. No clean winner after an exchange. Yeah, but it doesn't just end at one exchange, right? It's sudden
No,
death. So
no.
tie case 2, simultaneous round win ambiguity, rare but must define. If you ever implement any mechanic that reveals multiple cards at once, probably won't. You could theoretically get ambiguous completion. For MBF, you won't do multi-reveals, so ignore just mention for complete.
Speak up a little bit, Adam. There, it's kind of hard to hear you. You're away from the mic.
For MVP, you won't do multi-reveals, so ignore. Just mention for completeness. Yeah, we won't need any of that. High resolution, simple, clean, broadcast friendly. If sudden death does not produce a winner after incompletion question cycles, recommended n equals 3, do sudden death reset. Fresh 5 card ladders, fresh decks, new high card draw to determine who answers first question. It's avoid long loops and keeps the show moving. In cycles, tiebreaker is optional for MVP. So it's basically saying that the sudden death round is going to still be played as a normal round with questions and stuff in it. I think that's where where there's kind of misunderstanding going on here.
Misunderstanding. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but sudden death still does start with a question, right? So it does start with a
Yes.
question.
Starts with a
And
question.
And the winner,
Whoever gets the right-
yes, so whoever gets that right, then they have the option to either do the ladder run themselves or force the opponent to do it without the ability to swap their card at the start, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this. Let's think about this scenario also before we go too further. If I'm contestant 1, and then I decide, or I'm playing, and I hit the ice card. We're calling it for now, and then it flips to
Yeah.
you. And what if you hit the ice card next? Flips back to me, and I gotta finish my run.
So we see here, look, sudden death timing. This is the game design document. So this is what the AI is understanding. And maybe this is where there's some bit of miscommunication going on. Sudden death does not produce a winner after 3 full survey question cycles. So it is a long survey cycles. Reset sudden death, fresh 5 card ladders, fresh decks, new high card draw to select answer. So it is actually doing
It's doing the question, so the initial question to determine who's gonna have the decision whether to run or force their opponent to run, right?
Yes, but also they can't freeze, right? So if the opponent goes, they can't freeze. So if they don't get to the end, they lose and the other person
They lose.
wins.
That's it.
So
There's
where does the other?
There's no way
so
for a
where do
tie
the
to
other-
happen here.
No, so where do the other survey questions come in? There's only one at the start, and either someone's
That's
going
it.
to make
Yes.
it to the end or not.
Yeah. I need to clarify that so with the AI. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And you see why it's so important to tease all this out and make sure that the AI totally understands exactly what you're doing prior to putting that in, because it would end up building out something with this, this clause in there basically that isn't exactly what we want. So important to make sure that you're reading through what it's giving you, and it's fully understanding. And again, you got to put yourself in the position of like almost every phase of the game and what happens. Very, very important. Okay, let's clarify sudden death. I'm gonna pop us down here again, Adam, so people can have a
Yeah.
better view of the screen. All right. Okay, let's clarify sudden death. What is your understanding of the flow? One survey question. And again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching this, whether you're watching live here on PumpFun or if you're watching after the fact when we post this the next day on YouTube or on X or on Rumble. Appreciate you tuning in. And please, if you are watching after the fact, if you do have time during the day, we would really appreciate if you come over into the live show to engage with us, give us your feedback in real time, because that's how you will affect the actual building of the game as well and get your ideas heard and, you know, have a stake in the game. Say, oh yeah, that was my idea. That was my idea to add that in. That was a great idea. So yeah, so please, if you do have the time, coming on over to PumpFun, and of course it helps because we are entering the PumpFun Build in Public Hackathon at the moment, and this is all part of it, and we're building our second live game show in real time as part of this effort. And I hope PumpFun is watching too. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing, and maybe you guys are learning a little bit too. I hope maybe not, maybe not. Who knows? But we're going to be here, guys. We're going to keep showing up until this game is completely built. And we plan on, like, this was something that before we even knew about the PumpFun Hackathon, this was something that we had planned on doing anyway at some point. So this was a great opportunity for us to come over here, tap right into the main vein of where all the crypto legends live, and, you know, show our skills, what we've learned. Of course, the AI arms race is just constantly evolving. And you know, you got to evolve with it. You got to stay up to speed on all the different softwares and platforms, because one week a platform or software could do this, and then next week it could be obsolete because some other software, like there's a new king crowned almost every week in all these different facets of AI building. And that doesn't just go for coding or anything like that. It also goes for, you know, image generation, animation, all that kind of stuff. So it's very important to stay on top of that. But we will be showing you what we've learned from experience building in the last couple of months here, with all the advancements in AI, the softwares that we use, and the whole process. And it's going to be as raw as you will see. And this is how we do it. Exactly how we would do it if even if we were not on camera. This is what we would be doing right now, just teasing this out. But I hope everybody's picking it up, learning something new. It's always good to learn at least one thing new every day, guys. And appreciate everybody that's tuning in live right now. All right, so we have it. Let's clarify sudden death. What is your understanding of the flow? One survey question at the beginning. Player who answers correctly decides whether to go themselves or force the other player to go. Controlling player can swap initial card. Opposing player cannot. If first player makes a wrong call, do they lose instantly or reset back to the start? Good. This needs to be absolutely locked because sudden death determines perceived fairness, pacing, and viewer clarity. I'll first state my understanding, and based on your full game design so far, then recommend the cleanest finalized rule set for your show. Okay, number one, proposed sudden death flow, clean version. Step one, sudden death trigger occurs when match score is 1-1, best of 3 tie. Setup, fresh 5-card ladders, fresh decks, each includes 1 ice card and no freeze allowed. Step 2, initial control question. Before any card run, 1, high card draw determines who answers first survey question. 2, survey question played normally. Numeric guess, opponent calls higher or lower, correct player gains control. This determines who gets the sudden death decision. Correct. Step 3, controller decision point. Player who wins the survey question chooses option A, play their own ladder, or option B, force opponent to play their ladder. This is key drama moment. Base card swap rules in sudden death. If controller plays themselves, swap allowed. Reason, they earned control via survey, consistent with main game rules. If controller forces opponent cannot swap base card. Reason, this preserves strategic value of winning the question, otherwise forcing loses meaning. 3, freeze rule. Already locked. Sudden death, no freeze allowed. Players must run ladder fully. This ensures decisive ending. Correct. 4, critical question. What happens if force player misses? This is where shows historically diverge. Cleanest rule for your format. Wrong call equals immediate round loss. No reset, no restart, no fallback. This keeps sudden death truly sudden. Why immediate loss works best. A, strong drama, high stakes. One mistake ends the match. Viewers feel urgency. B, faster resolution. Resetting ladder adds confusion, adds airtime, reduces tension. Not good for live stream. C, strategic value maintained. Winning the survey question matters more. That's desirable. 6, edge cases. You should explicitly define ice card and sudden death. Since freeze isn't allowed, treat ice card as immediate turnover. Opponent now must run the ladder. No freeze semantics. Simple. Correct? Same rank card and sudden death, as already agreed. Advances ladder, keeps consistency. Correct. And number 7, full final sudden death flow recommended. Setup fresh 5 card ladders, fresh decks with ice card, and freeze disabled entry. High card draw, 1 survey question. Controller decision, play self, where a swap is allowed and must clear all the 5 cards, and the wrong call is an immediate loss. Or force opponent, the opponent cannot swap. Opponent must clear all 5 cards, wrong call, also an immediate loss. Special cards, the ice card, immediate turnover, other player now runs ladder. Same rank counts as advancement. Win condition, first player to clear ladder wins match immediately. Strategic implications, players playing yourself, better win. Strong base card, confidence and probability reads, risk, total responsibility. Forcing opponent is better when the opponent base card is weak, psychological pressure, risk, look swing. Okay, 9, viewer experience, impact the structure, simple to explain, highly dramatic, fast conclusion, consistent with the rest of the game. That's exactly what sudden death should do. Bottom line, locked recommendation, sudden death should be 1 survey question, winner chooses player force, swap only if playing self, no freeze, wrong call is an immediate match loss, ice card causes turnover only, same rank advances. This is clean, fair, and broadcast friendly. All right, if you confirm, next logical step is to update the game design document and replicate build prompt with finalized sudden death spec. Yeah, I think we're right there.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think that's kind of what we had in mind. So there wasn't really, I think it was just how it was kind of laying it out wasn't making, precise logical sense. Not in my mind anyway. So just getting clarification on that because it's absolutely vital.
Yeah, yep. And I think as well, Adam, know that I think once we get to this full design document here, I think we'll cut the show at that. We're closing in on 2.5 hours. So we'll cut it, and then tomorrow we'll run it on Replit. It'll be the first introduction to Replit. Adam can break it all down for you, and then we'll move into some of the extra graphic stuff that I was talking about a little earlier. This is how it goes. We don't want to draw it on too long, of course. I mean, we could. If this was us without live streaming, we'd be going for hours and hours. But seeing we're doing this and bringing everybody along with us, we want to make sure that you can consume everything that we've kind of laid out, and nobody's getting too overwhelmed. It doesn't go on for too long as well, of course, is important. Okay, so we are going to get our final GDD document here, and then we're going to close it out, Adam, and we'll be ready for our first Replit build tomorrow. We're going to go live 7 days a week, guys, with the development. So we're going to be live tomorrow, going to be live Sunday, all the way up during the week as well. 7 days until we get this bad boy cranked out.
Yep, just stay tuned for times. Might vary a little bit over the weekend, but stay tuned. Keep an eye on the chat, and we'll let you know when we're going live. So yeah, there we go. We've locked in the recommendation and prepared the GDD and prompt. So there we go. Excellent. Everything is now sufficiently locked to produce a clean, production-ready game design document section and Replit build prompt. You can hang directly to an AI agent or dev without ambiguity. Below is structured so you can paste straight into your master game design document. Use the prompt verbatim for initial build. Avoid rebuild loops later. No fluff. This is implementation grade.
All right.
So there is
well, what we'll do is we'll go over the document at the start of tomorrow's show.
Yes.
So people can catch up.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, everybody.
All right.
So there we have it. All right, let's pop ourselves back up here. Okay, that was a good session. We've finally nailed that down. We've ironed out a lot of the tweaks and any extra features. And I think we're ready to hit Replit here, Adam, tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of were hoping that we might get to the initial prompt and build and maybe get a little bit of replit going today, but it is worth taking that extra bit of time, as you can see, to trash it out and make sure it's completely clarified for the game design document and in your own head, so that you fully understand how the game works start to finish, got a loose idea of how the UI is going to look and how it's all going to kind of, play out. So having that clear in your own mind, making sure that the GPT understands it all and that the game design document itself and the prompt is going to match exactly what everybody understands. So yeah, I think it's always worth going the extra mile at the start if you need to. So we spent, what did we do, 3 hours yesterday, 5.5 hours of prep with ChatGPT to get the whole thing ironed out. But it is worth doing it, especially if you're doing it, a kind of a high production game like this for live streaming. Everything must be perfect, and you're bringing on people who are actually going to be playing for, mafia tokens and stuff like that. So the logic's got to be square, everything's got to be good. So it's worth taking that extra time.
Yes, absolutely. Tazzy, it never works to time, lads. Never, bro. Especially when you're in this kind of a mode where you just got to deal with the issues that prop up, and all that stuff, and make sure that it's so important that you, even more so than the AI, understand every little intricate thing, because as Adam will tell you, when you're actually doing the build, you're using the AI agents and the architect and stuff like that. You got to be the overseer. You got to be the one who's above even the architect. And if you don't have a firm grasp of everything, then you'll end up looking for bugs and trying to find things that are hard to find because you're not understanding the entire concept of every single little intricate detail. So it's so important to do that. And that's why this trashing out process is so important, not just for the AI, but for yourself as well. So, because sometimes the AI will bring up things that you mightn't have thought of. And then you're like, okay, but then this affects this affects that. So knowing the effects of different moves and decisions and changes is so important, to make sure you have a frictionless as possible build, I guess, ultimately. So yeah, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to our third edition of the live Build in Public PumpFun Hackathon. This is Mod Media, of course, building live for our entry. We're going to nail one of those 12 spots. I guarantee it. And we're going to keep cranking this out. Like I said, we're going to be going again live tomorrow, so we should be able to see a little MVP product, and we will dive into some aesthetics and graphics and
Sound kind of muffled there again. Not sure why that's happening, but
yeah, I don't know either. Is it okay now?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of it clears up when you move the mic a little bit then or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it might be a cable issue or something like that. I don't know. I'll have a look at it. I'll see why it does that. But yeah, so we're going to be coming back tomorrow. We're going to be looking at probably running. We'll go over the entire prompt that we're going to run to Replit tomorrow at the start of the show, and then we will run it. And while that's working its way through by the architect and Replit, while it's building it out, we can look at some aesthetic stuff, start building out some cards, maybe start thinking about some backgrounds and some lore, some ideas like that. And yeah, then we can actually test out a little MVP product of what we have kind of created via the prompt once it runs into Replit. So yeah, Adam, you got any final words here before we sign off for this evening?
No, not really. I mean, it's definitely been interesting, trashing it all out and getting it to this point. It's always a good milestone to get to, and you've got a clear, I think we should everybody that's kind of tagged along here for this whole thing and trashed it out with us, have a clear picture mentally on how the game is going to flow, because you kind of got to imagine the intro, the host introduced the contestants, then going through the whole feel, how it's all going to play out, and then how it's structurally built with your game design document. So it's always good to get to this milestone where you're ready to start the build, and then you really start tweaking everything and you start playing with it. And straight away you'll say, oh, well, this isn't working right, and then you just keep nitpicking through it, making sure that the game gets going down, and Mr. P will then start making everything look super awesome and getting some sound effects in, and that's how it's all going to flow here. So
yep.
Yeah, looking forward to the next step.
All right, and again, thanks everybody. I see Tazzy is still banging away in the chat there. Appreciate you, brother, tuning in, sticking it out. I know
Yes,
they can be
sir.
long sessions sometimes, but it's very much appreciated as well, and having everybody's input that is watching this. So again, if you are watching this after the fact, please come and try to join us on the live shows as much as you can while we're running through this hackathon. The more viewers we can, the more engagement we can get in the live chat, the better. And of course, please go and check out moonordust.media. And check out our website, all the things we got going on. Of course, like I said, we got the trending show was on just before this. We got the game show that goes live every Thursday now. And of course, we have this development show. And of course, we have Rico's Revenge is going to be dropping on ape.church as well very soon. We've handed that off. So that's very, very exciting. That was another game that we built, a casino slots game. So maybe we'll dive into that too at some point. Thank you, Singh, as well. I see you there in the chat. And thanks everybody that's stayed with us for this amount of time. We appreciate you guys. And we will see you all again tomorrow. Much love to you all, and we will chat soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
What is going on, everyone? I am DeFi Sean, and PumpFun and the entire crypto world is about to get hit with the coolest thing it's ever seen, because Mod Media is joining the Build in Public Hackathon on PumpFun. We've done it once with Lunar Dust, our high production game show that's about 25 episodes in front of everyone on YouTube. But this time, for our second game, we're going to be building live on PumpFun for everyone to see. So let's go ahead and get into it. And for those that don't know me, I am DeFi Sean, the owner of Crypto and Cause Investing, both the YouTube channel and the marketing company, and one of the co-founders of Mod Media, joined by my partners Adam and Mr. Pixel. We're building live entertainment that actually converts attention into on-chain activity. And the problem we're solving is simple. We all know crypto has amazing technology, but horrible engagement. Builders are either building something too complex or flat out too boring. Also, builders have the problem of getting people to engage and stay locked in, and most of the marketing they do feels fake or inorganic. Mod Media fixes that though by turning crypto into live, interactive entertainment. We go live 5 days a week with what we call Mod Trending, covering the top 5 projects trending on our bot. For those that didn't join us on YouTube building Lunar Dust, it is a high production deal or no deal style game where developers go head to head against our whales, picking their wallets for a chance to win up to 1,000 USD. Then that second game is coming to PumpFun. But exactly what are we going to be doing? We're going to be coding live. We're going to be testing it live. We're going to be bringing up community members to play the game, to break it, and to work out all the bugs in front of everyone to see. And at the same time, we're going to be bringing Mod Trending to PumpFun, Lunar Dust to PumpFun, and also teaching builders how to utilize AI for graphics, branding, and content creation. If you make crypto fun to watch, people stick around. And if people stick around, builders win. And when builders win, that's how entire ecosystems are built. And I hope PumpFun and our competitors are ready, because when Mod Media hits PumpFun, it is going to be essentially over. What we do, no one does it better, and the entire market is about to see that. So go ahead and strap up and enjoy the entertainment.